Okay, there we go. All right. He's ready. I'm ready. And we're back.
Sheva, do you know where the mines are?
Hello,
Past the
YouTube.
station.
Welcome back.
Not too far from here. Follow me.
Oh, hell no. You're just knifing the whole time. Why isn't he dying? Hell no. Last time, I know this game is fucking loud. The freaking audio in the videos are so freaking blasted. I'm gonna turn down the volume for this game. Right, so where we're supposed to go? Discord, please.
Discord.
Oh, there it is.
Discord.
Now it hears you.
Good. Good. Very good. There's a bird. I'm gonna shoot the bird.
Caca.
What burb?
Oh.
There are no burbs. Oh no.
Oh shit.
I can't believe you've done this. Oh no. It runs under the trains. It's running under the trains.
What's under?
Watch. It's under the train. Behind you.
Oh my god. Kill it.
Go to sleep, doggy. No doggies were harmed in the making of this playthrough.
Could you imagine? They're just dogs, like, just implanted into a virtual reality.
See, what you don't know is it's all mocapped.
Could you imagine? Oh shit. Hold on. People are coming, right?
Oh, gee, behind!
Oh
Oh!
shit. Oh, another one. Those stupid bitches. Oh, hell no. Oh.
Get it off!
No. Where's my weapon?
Alright, hold on.
Son of a bitch.
Much appreciated.
You motherfuckers.
Get it off! It's touching me.
Die. Please.
Don't run at me. I am not the one.
Or the 2. Or the 3.
Let me get that.
Oh, people in this. Oh. Oh, okay, of course. It's flyers.
They fly now. They fly now.
What is this? Freaking tremors?
Oh, above us.
I'm trying to get it. It's like my freaking. Up down, fucker.
Come here.
Oh. Yeah. You know what? You need one. What the fuck? Come here.
It heals us both.
No, wait.
Oh, you only have a red.
Oh. Hold on.
You can't use just a red.
Is it
It's
again?
gotta be a
What's
green
the
red.
E. Nah, combine. There we go. Now where is it? Okay. Come here.
I want to climb.
Let's tell me climb. Together forever. 3 bullets. There's a guy next.
You're gonna miss.
Oh. Oh, one of the flies. Oh, I miss. I miss. I miss. Oh, I miss. I'm missing.
Handgun ammo. Then I think this is shoddy shells. Oh no, it's gold. And then you jump this way. Gotta go this way, man. You gotta go this way.
Great way. If you would.
Oh no 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 no!
Jump down.
Me out.
What the hell's going on
I
here?
saw the ammo. Or no, it's gold. Damn it.
Good enough.
We're going in the mines.
Into the mines.
So we back in the mines. Got a pickaxe swinging from. Oh yeah. Boop. Come on. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Trevor.
Come on! 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 Come on!
Hey, there's a green herb for you to combine.
No, I already had one.
Ah.
Answered.
Yep. Hold on.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It doesn't
What's
just
gonna
attach?
work?
Oh
Nope.
my.
Okay. I got it. You can fight.
Who needs a light?
Okay. Bye.
Wait a minute. Go. Holy shit, it's actually dark as fuck in here.
Ooga booga. Go.
Is that a red herb?
Oh, it is a red herb, but I'm full. So hold on.
Don't you have a green one?
Yeah. Can I combine it off the rip? I can. Haha. No, I cannot.
Oh, no.
Here. Take that from me for a second. Try and do this.
What'd you give me? Grenade?
Fine. Alright, yeah.
Oh, there we go, sir. Holy shit, it actually is dark as fuck in here.
I mean, we're in a mine shaft.
I mean,
We are
like,
in a mine.
you know, like how some games have like that thing where it's like you can kind of see. Okay.
No. I have no clue what you're talking about. You're lying. Get him! Get him! Get him!
Of course. That was a whole.
There's
clip.
another one. Take that handgun ammo.
Oh, he's waiting. Look at him. It's a pickaxe. Let me hit him. Eat that, bitch.
Hey, to your right, to your right, to your right!
You mother bitch. You dead? No? Now he's dead. Now he's dead.
Come here,
Fuck you.
come here.
Oh, wait.
Back to me. Hey, no.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's a bad place to reload. He's gonna smack you.
There we go. What's
Alright, hold on. Turn around. Look back towards them. Look up at the ceiling.
that?
Shoot the sparkly.
Ooh. Piece of candy.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to share my knowledge.
Sir.
Yeah, shotgun shells. Very delicious. Yes, yes. Break that skull.
Oh, yes, machine gun ammo. Yes, 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 yes. Give me all the ammo, please. See it break the skull? What?
I think you can smash the skull.
Oh, it's just disappeared. Flash grenade.
What you got in here?
Flash grenades.
I think flash grenades insta-kill the whippy heads. the whippers.
Oh, they have to be out though, right?
Yeah. You have to pop the head, and then when the whippy comes out, you just hit them with a good old flashbang, and then
A flashy flash.
suddenly they're not your problem anymore.
One is the flash grenade. Why is 4 the fucking? Oh, I think it's like this. Okay, this
It's 4 because we back in the mine.
was 1, 2, 3. Okay,
And we got our pickaxe
I see
swinging
how this
from
works
side
now.
to side.
1, 2, 3, 4 are the thingies, and then it's set up where it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, like the bird I see.
Oh, I see. It goes in order.
Cause you give in me the I'm messing with my desk.
I can't see.
You don't need to see.
Okay,
Just go forward.
it goes the opposite direction.
There's a shiny
Where?
on the ceiling in front of the beam.
How the hell did you see that? It's just so tiny.
Me and my one buddy played this an unhealthy amount of times.
Me. Of course. Of fucking course. What does? Of fucking course.
Flash grenades are powerful.
This guy better not be one of those too. Oh, maybe just ignore him. Nope, he's not normal. I just used my flash grenade, bitch. God damn. It takes so much bullets. Oh. Reload. Hell yeah.
Dish up. You got no ammo in your pistol.
Now what? Can't see. Dead, no? Oh. The other guy. Oh, where's right?
Behind you.
Holy shit, that's good. What?
Sir.
Get off him. Get off him.
Sir, no one asked what that mouth do.
Nobody wants to see that. Put it away. What the fuck was that?
Snake. Snake.
Is a snake?
No. No. Get away, snake.
Oh wait,
Here.
what?
It's running. It's right there. See?
Fuck you. Oh, hell yeah. Wait, what?
Healing item.
An egg.
Egg.
I will eat it.
Eggy.
What the fuck?
I will-
That's so
And I
random.
leave you.
That is so fucking random. Hey, where did he go?
You'll never know. Ring their bells with shotgun shells.
Oh, look. Eating. That
All
bitch.
the small things.
We got money in the bank. Money. Ooh. Candy. Oh. You would expect that the big ass just would have bigger things. It's just a fucking.
It's at your feet.
Can't go. I can't
Kill
look
it.
down that far.
Kill it.
Where is it? Pick it up. Pick up
Come
that
on.
egg.
That's not where it was on my screen, but okay.
You get the egg? Oh, egg.
No. I don't need no egg.
I'm gonna eat it.
I don't need an egg.
Protein.
Eating protein.
Oh. Is the way?
Protein. Eating protein. Pull the lever, Crunk! Hold on. We don't need this if I remember correctly.
I gotta go 80.
So here's how this is gonna work. I'm gonna put this here for you, because you're gonna have fun. Do you want me to go look for the button, or do you want to go look for the button?
What do you mean? What's here?
Have fun.
Wait a minute. Oh my god. They're coming from me. Why'd I pick this up? How do I drop it?
Switch weapons.
Please no crazy ones. Please no crazy ones.
You'll be fine.
I'm just gonna wait for them at the light. Come closer, bitch.
I tried to set up the light for you.
Oh my god, it's this bitch. Die.
Let me make sure I'm not being dumb and there's not another wheel for me to turn here real quick.
Thank you.
Hey, I found the lever.
You good? Now what? Oh. Hold on, let me grab this. Ammo.
You grab your loot. That's what now.
Give me the loot. Yeah, it's checkpoint. Oh. Boss fight? Or just a lot of these?
Behind you!
What? Oh shit. Where's my fucking weapon? Where's my pistol? Pistola. Turn around. Right on. Don't look at her. Look at me. Oh shit. Hey, fuck you. Mother bitch. Corner. You. Oh, of course it's the big bitch.
Behind you!
Oh, okay. Of fucking course. 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 Okay, okay.
Awkward.
I got sliced. No, Mr. Redfield.
I tried to heal you.
I did. I saw. Right when you healed me, I got sliced in the back. All right, organize. So whatever the fuck I have. What else can we do here? Can we level up things? Might as well.
I'm selling all my treasures.
Organize. Upgrade. Upgrade the damage. Okay, that's the max. Oh, capacity. You can hold 20. Oh, hell yeah. Critical. How much does that cost? 13k! I'm just gonna upgrade wherever I can. Upgrade that. Upgrade to reload, sure. Oh, you can make it fucking fast as hell, huh? Great. Max out the reload on this thing. And then...
How are you able to upgrade your pistol to fucking 20, but I can't upgrade my capacity? This is BS. This game hates me.
Yippee! I'm strong. It's 4,000.
Buy.
1,000.
Can I buy the SVD? Nope.
Yep.
I do not have the sniper rifle available to me,
For real?
which
What?
could prove problematic for later.
We have to replay the thing? Are we able to go back and replay the thing? Unlock the thing?
No, we should be fine. We will be fine. We'll figure it out when we get there. Everything will be
You know
fine.
what it is? Maybe you have to
Well-
touch it. Maybe you have to get it, and then I give it to you, and then...
Well,
you know
Remember,
what I
I
mean?
had it. Just my
Yeah, I
game
know.
crashed.
That's why your shit crashed. Maybe if...
My game hates me.
Maybe if I buy it, give it to you, and then it'll like unlock it or something. It'll debug it or some shit. Oh fuck, I forgot
Maybe.
we're in a fight.
So Han, so people drop behind.
Yeah, double.
Get stomped.
Come on in, fuckers. Fuck you.
Oh! Behind you. We gotta move, G. We gotta move.
Where we going? Where we have to go?
I don't know. Ow. I don't know if I'm remembering this properly, but I'm pretty sure
you
this
climb
is
a ladder?
infinite spawn zone. Yep. I'm like 80% sure this is just an infinite spawn until you get where you need to go.
That's one of those. You try to. Oh, not avoid.
Oh god! He's whipping his head!
I went my hand back and forth. I went my hand back and forth.
Alright, hold on. No.
Oh shit. Oh shit. That's
Oh
not
god!
Good. That's not good. Oh shit. We're in a.
Okay,
We're
hold
in
on,
a.
hold on.
I'm going backwards. I'm going backwards.
Back up. Back up.
Oh shit.
Move forward. Push up.
I can't. The guy's in my way. Ah, fuck you. Fuck you, whiphead.
Where'd you go down at? Oh my god, you're way over there. You're cooked. I don't know if I can do it.
No, I got blocked.
Run to
That's
me,
why.
brother. Run.
I got blocked. You see what
Hold
I'm
on,
talking
so
about?
first
There was
off-
that bitch. Of course, there's another one. Of course. Go right,
Step
go right,
past
go right. Run. Avoid. Climb, climb, climb. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Reloading.
Ah, I got shot. Fuck you,
Good.
bitch.
Good. Yep.
I'm assuming go through here.
Yep. I don't want this. I don't need this. Hell with you. Hell with you.
That's that. Get on with it. Behind us. Gosh, oh, he's dead. Don't wanna miss a thing.
GG too easy.
Come on!
What the fuck? I pressed V as it. Come on. I'm in here, stupid. I'm in here. Game. What the
You didn't
fuck?
push. You didn't push the right button. Okay. You didn't push the right button.
literally
damn it.
V.
Come on!
You're pushing the wrong button.
V's to go down.
Uno, quinto.
Do you
Por favor.
believe? Rifle ammo. Herb.
I can feel you.
Herbs. I'll grab the rifle ammo. I got the spice.
Try to ish. Ish. Ish.
Oh.
Ish. What did you do? You pulled me into a cutscene. How dare you?
I didn't realize it was gonna pull into the cutscene here. Sorry.
Oh shit.
Look at this guy.
So you must be Irving.
Wow, perceptive, aren't ya?
You think this is a
He looks
joke?
like the Pennywise
You're just
guy.
like all the other pieces of scum terrorists.
Oh, I'm not like them. I'm a businessman with standards.
Drop the weapon.
Or, how about you drop yours?
Batman.
Suckers!
He said suckers. Down. Down.
Looks Looks like Irving has a partner.
There must be something here he didn't want us to see.
What is it?
Looks like Irving has a partner.
Look at this.
Look at this.
The oiled field. That's in the marshlands. The oiled field. That's in the marshlands.
Delta Team, Chris here. We located Irving, but he got away.
Do you know where he went?
We think he's heading for an
Aha!
oil field in the marshlands.
Okay.
Hold on. So first.
Roger
Oh,
that.
oopsies.
I made a fucky wucky.
What the hell did you
Let
do?
me go ahead. You don't need to talk about it. We don't need to talk about what I did, things I did. Yada. Don't window. Don't go out that door. That's not a good idea. It's not a good idea at all, buddy.
Guy here.
Can you come here so I can give you some bullet?
And there was a solo
Come here.
man here. Alright.
Come here, sir. Here you go. Let me give this to you.
Okay.
8 bullets.
Oh, they're coming in through the door. Oh, I got dag one tap. So what do we do here? Do we go outside?
Not yet. I need to go say hello.
Oh, you have a sniper now. Oh, I see. You have to snipe somebody.
Yeah, I had to shoot the machine gunner. Now you can go out there.
Yippee!
Or you can wait for me to whittle these guys down.
I'll just stand out the door and see what's going on. Hello, everybody. It's me. My name's Chris. Is anybody there? Hello?
And I'm out of snipper ammo, so go out there. Go. I killed the machine gunner.
Oh, you need rifle ammo?
Just
I
don't let
have
it-
some. I have like 5 or something. Oh,
That's... You're good, dude. Just whatever you do, don't let anyone get on that machine gun. Or we're cooked.
please climb. Oh. Oh. Eating him.
I just bounced this dude's head off the fucking...
Let
off
me
the
see,
wall.
I'm just gonna use this. I can pick up this.
We're just gonna shoot
There's a hand
that.
grenade up here. Pick it up. Chest here. Money.
Money, money, money.
Yeah, do I drop anything? Oh,
Money!
actually, just fine. I can reload this. Drop the grenade. Yep. I can. Grenade, hell yeah.
There's some extra handgun ammo in this little hut.
And this incendiary.
In the
grenade.
little hut.
Handgun ammo.
Hand
Yippee.
grenade ammo. Sir, did you just try to shoot at me?
Oh, bitch. Okay, Maduro, get off me. Yeah, it really looks like Maduro.
Oh my god.
Should he go left or right? Oh wait, no, there's only one left. Right.
I'm down on the road.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, there's something shiny.
I got to the shiny. Come. Throw me up. Go on, light another one for me.
Let me jump down. Wait. Jesus. Alright, here you go.
Throw me up. Puts me up.
Do, 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 do. Oh, you're there. Oh my God, what's going on? Why is so many explosions? Oh, they have the explosions. Oh shit!
Run!
Fuck you, bitch. Oh, they killed each other. Thanks.
I'm just shooting it out of their hands.
Killed each other. Thanks. Ah. Fuck you, bitch. Eat that. Here's a
Randy, yo,
knuckle
death is
sandwich.
Fox speed, Luigi. Go on, light it, and then if you shoot it while it's in their hand,
Oh, explosion.
you
Oh,
fancy?
behind you. Oh,
yep. All right, let's push this. Go ahead and give this a push real quick.
we're gonna push it. Oh. That's enough. That's enough, Chris. We can. We don't need to be pushing it all the way like that. Oh shit! I threw a grenade right in front of him. Oh, oh, he died. Let me
Calculated.
combine- Let me combine. This. Trying to pick up the goddamn
Are
herb.
you
bro.
gonna pull out? You gonna pull out TNT, or you gonna run at me? You're gonna run at me, so I'm gonna shoot you in the face, and then I'm gonna kick you, and now I'm gonna stab you.
A big stabby stab.
Machine gun ammo.
Oh.
Oh,
I just jumped down and it triggered this. Bullshit.
how dare you? It's Batman.
Oh my god, it's Dracula. Armored tank. Oh hell no, there's something in there. What the fuck? What do you mean?
There's nothing in there. It's fine.
No, I saw something. I saw
Dude.
something.
You didn't see anything.
I
You're
saw a thing.
worrying. You're worrying about nothing. I
There's
promise.
a reason this thing is armored. Oh fucking course it has that.
If there was something in there, would it
Doors.
open like that? See, look, there's nothing
Oh
on the
my
floor.
God.
See?
Look, there's something on the
There's-
ceiling. Oh my god.
It's just decorations. Have you not seen Halloween decorations?
What the fuck is that? Is that like a Spider-Man?
What is that? A problem. Our problem.
It's a bat combined with like some kind of fucking thing in it. How do you kill it? Where's the weak spot?
You shoot the squishies.
It's the booty.
You shoot it down, and then you come up and you shoot its belly.
Oh, you gotta shoot the belly.
Not right. Game.
Go flying, flying. So when it's flying, what do you shoot at?
You can try to line up a shot on its belly again.
My god, what's it doing?
There are landmines around you can pick up and put on the ground.
Flash grenades, ammo.
I can't shoot his butt from here. I can't shoot his butt.
I can't shoot from
Give me
in
that
here?
booty.
Oh shit! You can't get me. Where the fuck is my thing?
Up, Jeep.
Oh hell no!
Help. Help. Trying to send me flying.
It spat on me.
Where are you?
Can't see.
I'm in Spain. Without the A.
All right, what is this? Proximity mine? Hell yeah. Okay, what number is it? All right.
Plant the landmine. We'll
I'm gonna
lure him
plant
to
it
it.
right here. I'm gonna plant another one right here. Where I just lead the way.
Come on, loser. Come. You bet you won't touch the bomb.
Do you like that? You piece of shit. I'm gonna break these to get some ammo and stuff. Okay, need more landmine, but figure out where the what's it makes.
Oh. I just reloaded in its face.
Burn, bitch. Come here.
Ammo.
Oh
That's
my God,
machine
come
gun
here.
ammo. Ow.
I'm gonna get it to come to me, but it's going to. Look at me, bitch. Okay, ran out of ammo.
I had to heal.
Why is it still chasing you? God damn it.
Bro. Why?
Come here.
Why me?
I'm shooting him, but he's coming for you.
Bro.
Oh. And it's dead.
Just enough.
Man, I wanted him to get on. Oh. What a cutscene. What a cutscene. You have wings, fly.
We clipped his wings. He's not going anywhere.
G.
And now we get hit.
Ooh, machine gun.
Chris! Trevor!
I'm guessing we're gonna get chased. If I didn't know better, we're gonna get chased. Because there's a machine gun in the back of that thing. Okay, never mind.
No, we're fine.
Ooh, it would have been fucking crazy if they came back up, right? And you just start shooting.
That would have
it.
been a better. That would have been like a more interesting boss fight. That'd have been cool, actually. You're not wrong.
Like a phase 2. Hope we can buy
But see,
something.
you're worried about nothing.
Dragoons.
You're worrying about nothing. You're worrying about nothing.
Why? What?
It's only moderate panic set in. Oh, buy what's new? Dragonov? Can I buy Dragonov? I can buy the SVD. Let's go. I can buy the SVD. Let's go. Ooh. Fucking proximity bombs. Ooh.
Upgrade. Oh, boom, boom, firepower. How much is it?
Boom.
5K?
Boom. How many treasures we got? Boom. What is this gonna net? Boom. 21K. Yes, please. Upgrade.
Increase my. Oh,
Give me that crit and
I'll put crit on that.
I don't have enough money.
All right, that's
I'm
it.
just
That's the best I can do. Actually, can I upgrade my thingy? Hold on.
how do I?
There we go. Free ammo.
Boom. Upgrade.
Ammo.
I've maxed out my crit and I've maxed out my firepower.
For your pistol?
Yup.
Dang.
I'm fancy in here.
He's
like Applebee's.
strong. He's a strong boy. Very strong.
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 I heard about Irving. Tough break.
Yes, but
I am
there
very
will be
strong.
other opportunities.
I wanted to like stream or record Arma earlier, and
Quarters, what's your situation?
that's just not
There's a high
possible.
probability that Irving is on his way to an oil
Does it
field
lag
in
or
the
something?
marshlands. We're rejoining
It
Delta
causes
2 and heading
OBS to
there now.
lag like a motherfucker for some reason.
Oh, you probably get hella frame drops, yeah?
We got company.
They don't let happen, do they?
Do what you gotta do
You
to
there.
stop them. But don't get too trigger happy or the guns will overheat. If that happens, we'll be an easy target until they cool down.
Hell yeah. Oh, there's 2 of these?
Got
What the
sharp
hell? What
cars
kind of
up
car
ahead.
is this?
Hold on tight.
This is the best.
Well, yours is actually bolted to the vehicle. Mine's on a tripod now.
Squad from HQ. Based
I mean,
on
they-
the data you
they could've
uploaded
bolted
from
it.
that hard
No,
drive,
they could've just-
most of the townspeople have been infected by parasites known as Las Plagas. The data refers to the infected as Magini.
What does all this have to do with Ouroboros?
You got me. They didn't say.
Looks like the only way we're getting answers is from Irving. That won't even scratch the paint!
I love shit like this.
Rail sections.
Yeah.
Are you being sarcastic or
It's gonna
legit?
get bumpy. Hang on.
I'm legit. I like these parts. I'm just like shooting, trying to get escape.
I'm not a fan of rail sections. I hate it.
Eat this. Can't turn all the way like that. Come on.
Shoot that driver.
I can't turn all the way. There we go. That was good. Like I wasn't lined up with the guy.
Got some sharp curves up ahead. Hold on tight.
I know you're not whipping this Humvee like that. Just saying.
Reinforcements are en route. Hold your position until they arrive. Repeat, hold your position.
Let's pick up the pace.
Is he not dead? What the fuck? I thought this driver died. He literally exploded. Gosh, this died. Oh shit. The driver died. He's dead.
Out of here. Go home. You're drunk.
There's
Oh.
no getting past that truck unless you two do something about it.
Boom, explosion. Is she down? There we go.
Nice.
Wow. It blew up.
Wow. It blew up and got out of the way.
Crazy. Oh, man.
He's trying to ram us into the river. Do something.
Eat that. Yippee.
Why are we sticking to the dirt road? It's all dirt. Just go through the grass. Am I crazy for this? For these thoughts? Like, just go through the grass.
Hang on.
Jimmy, hang out. How do you with this? There was no ramp. Oh, it's slightly ramped, but like what?
Bro, he ollied it. What do you mean?
Yeah, friggin'
He
he kicked it.
kickflipped
He
on me.
kicked the freaking thing off, right? I just imagine him stomping just so it goes off.
You just hear the Tony Hawk sound effects click in.
What could have
Some
done
ska
this?
music starts playing.
Oh my god, they're dead.
Oh, wow, crazy. An NPC that's on your side's dead in a Resident Evil game? Battalion, you guys are moving into a city to help, let's see, BSAA agent Chris Redfield. No, I'm good. I quit.
This is a big bitch, huh?
Look out.
Remember how we had a teammate?
Oh hell no. Winston? It's a guy from Overwatch.
What did you just say?
It's the guy from Overwatch. looks like Winston.
The guy from Fortnite's fighting the guy from Overwatch.
Oh no, please.
Go, go! Get to the truck!
Yeah, this is a choice. Shoot the foot.
Oh, we gotta shoot the foot.
And he goes to stop, shoot the feet.
Bro, what is this freaking? This is like the House
then
of
there's-
Dead kind of game.
Yep. I like House of the Dead. If the game isn't on the rail, shoot the little squigglies. If the game is built as a rail shooter, I like it. But like, I hate rail shooter segments.
What?
Foot fetish, get out of here.
Is that one? Get the foot. Oh shit.
Duck.
I'll probably add this part to change it up a bit. Are these common in this game? Like the
This
whole
is like
rail
the
shooter
only
thing?
one I know of.
What's that guy looking at? Shut up.
Duck.
Eat that.
Give us those parasites.
Who's going? Oh, rock again?
I wonder. Does this do the trick? Yep,
Oh.
okay.
Let's go again. Okay. Got a weapon.
Duck. Weave.
Okay.
Bro, he's about to give us some feet picks. We got no barrel to do it this time, so we have to actually just damage him.
No. Is it gonna work? No, not again. Not again. Not like this. Oh, he did. Right? This has to be it.
No, back parasite.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And then feet picks.
Feet picks.
No feet picks.
Nope.
Die, bitch, die. Feet picks.
Nope.
Step victory.
Go away. We don't want your feet picks.
Where we going now? Damn, no.
Shoot,
Oh,
shoot the
shit.
crap out of the boulder. Shoot the crap out of the boulder.
Aye, aye, Captain. I did as much as I could. Why is that boulder so fucking tanky?
My boulder did a lot of damage.
Bullshit! I'm back at it again. Little ducky duck.
Weave.
Take a picture!
Okay. Ew. Okay, so now put that rock down.
What the hell? That was me?
No feet picks.
Down. And the back parasite. Eat this. Here we go again. Here we go again. Ducky duck. Duck again. Oh, I'm overheating. The hell is...
Oh, I hope this boulder's. I hope this fire's close enough. It's not close enough. It's gonna hurt.
Oh my god. How are we supposed to fucking kill it? Is there like
I
a
don't
weak
remember.
point in the frickin' in the rock? Die, die, die! Is that it?
Easy. Too easy.
Gosh.
He's an interesting fella.
Where are you, Josh?
Sheva, you don't have to do this. You can still back out.
What about you?
I've got a personal stake in this.
A personal stake? Chris, look around. We should both get the hell out of here.
I'm not here just for the mission.
What are you talking about?
A while back, I received some intel that my old partner was still alive. At first, I didn't know what to think. But when I saw the data file from Delta Team, I knew for sure. Jill is still alive.
Oh, Jill.
That woman in the
Jill.
data file. Are you even sure it's the same person?
We were partners. I'm sure.
Oh, is Jill the masked person?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh,
You're not going alone.
Uh-oh, mystery.
my instincts are telling me it's Jill.
Chris, wait.
Jill
I don't have
Valentine.
much time. I have to find her.
I'm going with you. These are my people that are dying here.
Are you sure about this? A second ago, you were ready to cut and run.
I can't just turn my back and walk away.
There are no more orders from here on in. It's just us.
We are partners.
Justice.
The end.
Isn't it crazy though?
Now
Like,
let's get moving.
as old as this game is,
Yeah.
the quality looks pretty good for its time, right?
What was this? 2008? 2009?
And then if you think about them like remaking or remastering the shit, oh my lord,
It's gonna look schmexy.
it's gonna go so fucking crazy to be like, oh my god.
Bro, they better add co-op into it, though.
They probably will, because it's literally in the base of the game.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was just one of those things about it that people didn't seem to like.
The
Like, kinda
co-op
like the
aspect of it?
aspect. They don't like co-op in Resident Evil. Some of them.
You know what? They can all lick a toe.
We're doing Toad? Is that what I heard? We're doing Toads now?
Toe. Like a foot.
Oh, Toad. Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna do some
A
Toad.
stun rod. What the fuck?
Replace your melee weapon with a stun rod.
Oh, does it? Is it even good?
Yeah. Ah, man. It's in the eyes of the beholder, they say.
Sounds lame.
I can do nothing.
Give this man machete.
You. Ugh.
What can I do? Can I upgrade anything? Do I have money?
Your MP5 placement kind of annoys me.
What's wrong with it?
It's so. I played this on the 360.
You want it there? Fine.
So
I'll put it on one.
So no. The way it worked on 360 is
D-pad?
your control. Yeah, you D-pad. So it was up, down, left, right, and then you actually had to open up your inventory to access the other items.
See, this is bullshit because it's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or whatever the fuck.
Yep.
I'm just like, bro,
Yep.
pissing me off. Okay, so you know what? I need to move this thing because it's literally nothing. So it goes all the way up to 8.
So like it's the child in me, the teenager in me who sees this and like, you're stupid. How are you gonna switch to that? But no, like it's just the fucking numpad. Are
you ready, sir?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm complaining. I'm ranting. Let me rant. Why are you rushing me through my rant?
I'm sorry. Get your head in the game, bro.
Screw you.
Get your head in the game.
What happened to your plot?
Jill and I were pursuing a man named Albert Wesker.
Mr. Wesker. This guy's like the main protagonist, huh?
He was a top official with Umbrella and the leader of our STARS unit. I met him again after the Raccoon City incident on Rockford Island. Since then, we've been trying to track him down. Then a few years ago, we got a tip from a reliable source. The whereabouts of Umbrella's founder, Oswell E. Spencer. So we paid him a visit, hoping he'd lead us to Wesker.
Dracula's castle is some shit.
Wesker!
Oh my god, it's Neo. You can't tell me this guy wasn't freaking Matrix inspired.
100%.
Look at that. God damn. Chokeslam.
Let's finish this.
Oh shit. Damn.
Jill's body was never found and she was presumed dead. The person I saw in that data looked like her. I have to know if she's still alive.
You two were close.
We were partners. What about you? Why'd you join the BSAA?
My parents were involved in an accident caused by a pharmaceutical company when I was young.
Umbrella?
Yes. I only found out later that the accident was to cover up the manufacturing of biological weapons for terrorists. They were using Africa as a test bed for their experiments. Bioweapons were responsible for the deaths of my parents. And someone has to pay for that.
So you joined the BSAA.
There's only so much one person can do. Even a superhero like you, Chris.
I'm no superhero. But together, we can end this.
Then let's make a stand for our fallen brothers.
Hang on.
Yippee! Now loading.
Oh, this is fun. I hate this section.
You hate this section?
Yeah.
Oh no. Not good. If he hates
It's
this
just
section...
not.
Oh,
It's
Jenny.
it's not bad. It's just not fun.
What happens here? I will see.
It's a giant fetch quest. Like we grab, know how we grabbed the thing? Here, I'm gonna drive.
Oh.
I'm sorry if I'm killing your fun on this part, but I hate this section with a passion. Give me my map. Left. It's just not fun.
Oh, are we literally just gonna be driving around and shit?
Do you have your map up?
No, I don't. Oh, I see. I keep forgetting there's this map.
We're going to each of those points to find a piece of the key. Which is crazy, because I didn't have a problem with stuff like this in Requiem, but... I don't know. Maybe it's just the pacing difference.
Now what?
Here, hold on. Do you have inventory space? Can you
No.
grab that?
I do not have inventory space. You have inventory space.
Alright, oh, hold on.
Let's switch. You can grab it.
I gotta angle me towards it.
God damn it.
Let me see. Pull forward. There it is. Got it.
There you go.
Oh, now I need to get us out of here. Great.
You know what? At least the controls aren't crazy, you know, like getting. At least the controls are actually bearable.
Yeah, God. Trying to remember where the dock is for this.
Maybe it's on the side right here.
Yeah, it probably is. And I'm being dumb.
Wait, what? Where is it?
Do we seriously have to go all the way around?
Really? That's crazy.
Here's a taste of why I hate this fucking section.
Is it because it's like a
In
maze?
particular. Some parts are... I really don't know if I have a good reason for hating this, then it's just not fun to me.
There's not a lot of action, huh? Any action? No. There's another herb here. If you, I don't have space for it.
Do I have space? I do have space. Is it red or is it green?
It's a green, I think.
Then I'm probably just gonna pop it. Where's it at?
Right,
Should an herb?
right behind.
Herb. That it do be how it do.
Oh, shit.
Oh God.
Oh shit. Okay, you just immediately.
All right,
grabbed
so
me?
you can let go of him.
How could someone do this to them?
What the fuck? I got a shield.
Whoop.
Oh shit. Stop, turn.
All right. You know what my answer to this is?
Oh, yeah, that works. Oh, he should be dead. Oh, yep, he's dead.
Need any handgun ammo?
Let me see. Do I shoot
And a
his leg?
handgun hammer. Oh,
Hold on. Fighting. I need a break. Ooh, money.
it's not like nothing. Oh god. Oh god. I'm gonna get hit. Oh, my back. Oh, my back hurts. Hello? Bro, I'm not the one to run at.
What? I picked up. I said eat this, and I'm picking up shit. Oh shit behind me. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, he's dead. Right?
He's sleeping.
Picked up Warrior Slate. How many pieces are
Alright,
there?
come
Like
here.
fucking.
So we're going to... Yeah, I'm just gonna use this
Okay.
on us. I'm gonna hold out until we get a red. Dude, just don't even try it, man. I'm not... You guys aren't worth the ammo. I'm out. I got what we came for. I hate it here.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I don't know what the fuck just happened. I don't really care. I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Haha, bye, loser. Enjoy your little time
Jumps in
here.
the water, right? Starts swimming.
Ah!
Jumps on the boat.
He wasn't supposed to do that. He's not supposed to be able to do that.
Wait a minute.
Ah, crap. Damn it.
Now what?
If you just rush through, we'll be fine.
Bye.
Oh, wait. No, you won't. Hold on. Damn it.
How do we do this?
That's gonna blow up, isn't it? Hold on. Here, pull. Get the cover. Don't park here. They can shoot us. They
I'm trying to
they
grab
will
it.
shoot us.
I'm trying to grab it. Where's cover?
Here, just hold.
We're getting shot at.
You turned at the worst possible second. Oh
Alright.
god. Oh god. Okay, hold on. First, let's. Ow.
Let me just keep driving. Let me go far away so you can
Right here,
kill
right
him.
here. Right here is fine.
No,
This should be fine.
A little snippy snip. Oh,
They got arc. They got
holy
arc.
shit! They got the fucking Autobot, the aim.
Bro, you're hacking. Stop it. Nobody likes hackers. Hold on. I'm reloading. Awkward.
Hold on, let me move. Oh,
You're fine.
it should miss.
It's not gonna hit us. It'll miss. Hold on, stop. This is good. I'm gonna shoot that guy. Or we don't have to shoot that guy, but I'm
What?
gonna shoot him anyway, because
Oh,
he's
okay.
gonna die.
Okay, cool.
JFK, motherfucker.
Dead. Pause. Oh shit.
Pause. What do you mean
Can I run him over? Oh, okay, cool. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
What do you mean pause? Oh god.
What's up? You gotta do something?
I gotta go mod something. Get this out of here. Can I make mod action?
Oh, well.
Open this. I'm already in this. Get this out of here, buggy.
What's going
Get
on?
out of here. Someone's posting followers and TikTok shit. Or not follower, buy followers and all that. Yada yada. All that good
Cool.
stuff. All that good stuff you like to see.
Get
you
out
know
of my
what I
buddy's
mean?
thing. Get out of there. Need a bigger
See,
monitor
get
so I
up.
can fit like multiple shit in the. Exactly where the big streamer pulls 1,000 viewers has to... You're a liar. You're an absolute big ass liar. Get out of my stream.
It's like, get him out of here. Ban.
He
Ben.
didn't even follow me. Lying ass.
Get him out of here.
That was fun. I followed you. Lying ass. Someone else.
I have a
followed
friend
me.
who can see that.
That's not him.
Oh, did I not click on that? Yeah, open that shit up. The food.
I could hear it. The middle of. Oh wait, let me start.
I was getting it. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
Who was it, man? Thanks for the value. Hiya. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Here you go.
My one buddy was already on top of it. He's like, I sees it. I was getting it. Damn it.
I got it, boss. Oh, cancel.
Open. Oh, you're good. You can pause if you need, or if we're. I'm sending a message to a friend.
Let me know when you're ready to move along. I'm gonna chop whatever the hell's on this thing.
Even when my hope is gone.
What even is this?
Move along. Move along.
Like I know you do.
Bro, I don't care what anyone says. Does anyone give AAR any shit? They get flack. Alright, I'm
No,
ready.
I don't think
I
anybody
fucking
gives them shit. I think a lot of people like all American.
Okay. Oh, why is my chat paused? Stop pausing chat, damn it.
Oh,
There's
we gotta
no
go find more, huh? Why are we here?
Bro, we gotta cut through the village to get to the oil fields, man. I hate this section.
What? We just climbed the
We've done
goddamn
so
wall.
many.
What the fuck?
Do you see? I just I have no reason to hate this
unless the
section.
walls are like in a mountain or something. You know, like if it was in a mountain or something. We could just climb this wall right here.
Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Like I said, I just hate to hear. Yeah, we can speed boost. We're zooming. My buddy's
Like-
gonna get mad at me if I. Oh God!
Do we have to like go through? Oh shit!
Here's how much me and my buddy played this. All right.
Wow, this guy's good.
I'm pretty sure, like, all he has to do is load into the game, and it'll come back to him like muscle memory. He'll know all the medallion locations, every treasure location.
I mean, that's how
Like,
you know you love the game. Right?
This was his game. This was his game. Be careful, there's gators here.
What?
Have fun. Do with that what you will. Oh shit! Leave me alone.
Ah, please! I'm just an innocent person. I wish you no harm. Please, gators, please. Get me out of the wall. Please. Come on. Where are we going?
Oh, you gotta cod zombies the gators.
Can I get on the boat? What the fuck do you mean I can't get on the boat?
There's a ladder you can climb, or you can just run around there.
Where is it?
What we got here?
Where's the ladder? I'm fucking...
I believe in you. You'll find it eventually.
Is it underneath? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, you just gotta navigate underneath for a bit. Hello?
Am I blind?
I just got Nani the
Oh,
fuck.
there it is. There it is. Holy shit! I thought I was. My brain.
Sir,
my
get
brain
down
is
from
not
there. You
working.
could hurt yourself.
La 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 la.
You missed
I'm
two so
here
far.
for the stuff.
I'm well aware. I'm not here. G, do you want me to get you the medals, the medallions, the treasures?
Sure. I don't care.
Ah, shit. You're supposed to say no. I'm
Oh.
just here for the story. God damn it.
I'm just here for whatever, dog. You do you. You do.
Oh, no.
Okay, idiot.
Fucking give me the pearl. All right. Medallion acquired. Get the hell out of here. Yo,
Hey, he's leaving.
get him. Get him. Bye.
No gators, no gators, no gators. Oh, what grab me? Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
What side are you on?
I just dropped. Oh, please, 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 please.
I don't remember how much money they drop for you when you kill them, but I think they drop.
I hate things in the
amount.
water. You don't know what the fuck's in it.
Even when your hope is gone.
Like I hate water.
Go around a time or two just to waste my time with you. I forgot how the song starts. On. Come back to me. This is like how I discovered All American Rejects. Fucking dirty little secret. Oh wait, there it is. Let me know that I've done wrong when I've known this all along. Go around the time or two just to waste my time with you.
That's a
Hey
good
G,
song.
have a present.
Explosiva. It's time, Rocket Man.
You do
Rocket
not find
Man.
extra rockets until much later.
What's the use of the rocket?
So
Man?
that is a one-time use for
Wait, what?
whenever I actually know when a good time to use it, but that's all up to you. You'll know when the time comes.
You know what? I'll probably waste it.
Get 'em.
It'll be like,
Get 'em.
oh look, a regular person. Oop. Or like, oh look, a horde. Boop.
Oh look, a problem.
And then it'll be like, yep, you used it at the wrong time. Well, fuck me.
Mine.
Okay. You know what? You can grab that. I'll wait. There's no use for both of us to go up there because it's literally just a box. Ooh.
It's treasure.
It's a candy. I love candy. Candy?
Did we grab all the pieces? Am I dumb? Hold on.
Are
We
you
have
dumb?
all No. Get on the damn boat. Get on the damn boat.
Because if you're dumb,
Let me whip the boat.
I'm dumb. If you're smart, I'm smart. That's how it works.
Full speed ahead.
Holy shit, that was crazy.
The air brakes on that are wild.
Air brakes or whatever the fuck. Why does that sound like something that
Because we've probably yelled that
I
time.
think so. I feel like I yelled that before. Air brakes or some shit. What was it for? That's the question. Why?
I don't
did we
know.
yell
Whatever a
that?
fucking DI felt like making you scream it for.
Air brakes. What the fuck? Air brakes.
Need to beat it in under 4 hours. Okay. That is not happening this time, buddy.
Wait, is this the wrong place? Didn't we just go here? This is the first place we went to, no?
Did we get the piece
What
from
is
here?
this? Yeah, this is the first. This is where it started. This is where we started. This is the very
That's where it
beginning.
all started long
That's where it
ago.
all started. Maybe there's something in here.
You know what? I'm dumb. It was very obvious. Why do you let me be dumb?
Because I'm dumb. What do you mean? Like,
Just
didn't I just tell you? If you're dumb, I'm dumb. If I'm smart,
I relied on
If
you
you're
for
smart,
so much
I'm
back
smart.
in the day.
back in the day, you know what? I sounded smart, but really, I was just winging it. You know what I'm saying?
You and Kunk sounded. Hello?
Hey, you know what? We are tactfully smart, okay?
I want to say you and Kunk sounded smart.
We are very dumb, intellectual people in a sense.
I knew the truth about Kunks. I didn't know about you,
Hey, man.
Mr. Island Boy before Island Boys.
Island boy. Because I'm an island boy.
Is that something
Ooh,
you were
shiny.
playing on like your uke? Like you would play that and fucking.
No. You could play
swear
Party in
it's
the
a song.
USA.
I swear you played a song you were calling like Island Boy or something.
Bing, bing, bing.
Am I tripping?
Nope.
What?
Yeah,
Is this
you
the
are.
wrong reality?
You're probably. You're
She
from.
got ammo.
What universe are you from? What timeline?
Hey, yo, you want some crackpot theories, G? You want to hear one of those theories?
What?
There's a theory I heard. So there is a theory called like quantum death or quantum suicide, whatever it is. I just got banned for saying that. Anyways.
Wait, what?
There is a theory that when you
Oh,
die,
chicken.
you don't die. Your consciousness just moves to an alternate reality where you survived whatever encounter killed you.
Like an isekai? That's what I believe too. For some reason, that's what I believe.
Kind of like that.
Because it's just like.
But like.
Because if there's this talk about like alternate universes, you know, because could you imagine, like, because sometimes you'll have like a dream, right? Like, and then it's like it's so real, and then it's just like,
don't start this with me.
So
that was my math class.
What if that, like, when you go to sleep, right? You go into another consciousness or like another fucking like time of actually, you know, being.
I remember this. It was 4th grade, Mrs. Kutcher's class. I went to bed, and I had a dream. We were going over like some math lesson, yada yada. And then like next day at school,
the chicken.
We did the exact math lesson I did in my fucking dream.
Oh, yeah. See,
and like I looked like
have happened. I've dreamt about
and
something.
I looked like an
and
idiot because I raised my hand. I'm like, Miss Kutcher, we did this the other day. And she's like, no, we didn't. This is our first time going over it. And I gave her the answers to the problem she didn't assign yet. It was like, oh.
That's like some clairvoyant shit, dog. Like you see into the future.
It happened that one time and never again. It gave me false hopes back in my 2nd year of 5th grade.
No, but there are like moments, you know, like you have like deja vu, right?
Yeah. Did we get the thing from here?
It's up here. I gotta assist.
Oh, that one.
It's
okay.
this one.
I
think.
But yeah, that I have in
this is
4th
treasure.
grade. But then I had this is treasure. And then I had another fucking weird incident back when I was doing security. Like I was driving and a semi truck braked in front of me, and I got really close to it. And like I braked, but I also had like it flashed in front of me that I didn't brake, if that makes sense. Like I'm not saying it's weird to describe it.
No, like you. I guess you already.
Like I had the knowledge of not braking, but I braked. Yeah, I'm not shooting who I don't have to shoot. Get out of my way.
Okay, you guys are in my way. I have to shoot them. Please kindly fuck off. Okay, you just made a wall of them. All right.
Get kited.
Get on the boat.
I shot like 2 bullets that entire time there. But no, like it was trippy. And it sounds like complete bullshit even saying it out loud.
No, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have like gone through that kind of stuff. It's weird, dude. It's
What
just,
is it? I've started.
Could you imagine like this reality that we're in is like.
Like if that's true, I know damn well this isn't my reality. I've died a couple times.
No, this is your reality. It's just a different reality. Because you're literally the multiverse.
You're not real, G. I'm the only thing that's real. You adapt to me.
Just so you know.
I made you.
Just so you know, you're talking to your imagination right now. Me? Who am I? Good question.
That time I got admitted to the psychiatric ward at the age of fucking like 6.
Real. He's right there, and it's like I'll just disappear behind the corner.
It's just having one of those fucking moments. Fucking Rick and Morty. We never left the Shoney's. I never left the Kobacker facility. I've been in a rubber room this entire time. I don't have a kid. Oh god, that would be heartbreaking. I think that would kill me more.
Yeah, I believe in that kind of things. Hurt somebody.
You hurt a lot of people. Do you want a very powerful weapon? More, almost as powerful as the one on your back?
I have a powerful
Where is
weapon.
your very powerful? There's an even more powerful weapon available here.
My hands?
Do you want it, or do you want me to grab it?
You can have it. I have an RPG. What more?
All right, have fun fighting everything off.
Wait a minute. This guy hates me.
No, I'm just gonna go grab the...
Oh my god, I knew it. I knew it was gonna be some kind of bullshit. Oh.
I asked questions.
So where are they? Where are they?
All right, so
supposed to
they're
spawn from?
up top above me trying to shoot me.
Oh, so I have to kill them up here. Is that what they're telling me? You guys dead, right? Can you please die, please? Here's a... Oh wait, I can't touch this one? Oh, shotgun.
Freedom over me.
Shotgun ammo. Or rifle. Oh
Love
wait,
me
you gotta
shotgun
come pick
ammo.
these up. There's shotgun ammo up here. Well, I have the shotgun ammo.
I'm probably gonna bail on the rifle,
Here you go. Rifle ammo.
in all honesty.
Do.
I ain't scared. Send your worst at me.
That's right, I saw someone glitch through the wall. Where'd he go?
You scared me when you dropped down. I was ready to
Surprise!
shoot you in the face.
It's me! You're figment of your
It's me!
imagination.
Oh no!
Oh, what the fuck is that thing?
I don't know, but there's machine gun ammo here.
Shit! Jesus! Get out of my face.
Is it a big boy?
Yeah, it's a big boy. He hit me. Oh shit, there he
Oh
is.
god! Run! Run! Run!
Where's the ammo?
Cut through here. Hold on. Is it 4? Where's he at? Get behind me, Carl! Shoot that little guy, Carl! I got this! Ugh.
Yes, Papa! Oh no! Papa!
Carl! Carl!
Holy shit, what the fuck? These guys are... Oh, that guy hit.
He just smacked his buddy.
Oh, they're going for you.
Owie. He doesn't
little
like
ones
me.
want
Thank you
me.
for the likes, Chris.
Oh shit, there's a guy behind me.
Oh
shit, fuck you.
I need to reload for a moment. Do you have any nades?
Huh?
Bro,
Don't
why
have
are they
any
making
nades.
Zoidberg sounds? Do you hear this?
I have flashbangs. That work? Fuck off.
Do you hear them? It's Zoidberg.
You idiot.
Shoot him, damn it!
Oh, well, I got caught. Yeah, kick that guy. Fuck you.
I will also. Here, I'm gonna impale it. Oh, are you okay?
Hit my ass.
Hey, we should go heal up somewhere.
Yeah,
Come here.
for sure.
Here, you got it. You have one hotkey, or? Yeah, good job. Hey, they're gonna.
It's tearing at my heart. Just gonna break these, see if I got some ammos. Yep.
Run this way. Get away, Zoidberg! I don't want you.
Oh, look, I can climb. Oh, there's stuff in here.
You know what? I said I was gonna sell the rifle, but actually, I'm gonna use the rifle here.
Oh my god, what the
I shot him
fuck
in.
did this
Oh
guy
god!
do? Get off! Oh shit, that's not what. Oh shit!
Pop. Whoa, 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 whoa,
It's a guy with the whip head. Turn around. Bright eyes.
Every now and then I fall apart,
Get out of here.
and I need you more than
Yeah,
ever.
you like that. Oh, this guy just gets. Oh, he's there. Where's that thing?
He's a whippy head. Oh, there's a whippy head.
Get out of here.
He whip his hair back and
Yeah.
forth. He whip his hair back and forth.
There's barely any ammo. How do we kill these guys? You just keep shooting them? Oh, you gotta hit him. Bow. That one's dead.
It's one.
2.
That's 2. Give me that jam. Ow. I got stabbed for it. Do it for the vine.
Oh shit, reload.
You don't have any bullets to reload in that gun. There's a green herb here. We got a green herb
Another
here.
green herb here. Green herb.
Green herb, Shay.
Ammo. You know, I'm gonna grab
Dude,
this.
just.
There's a red herb somewhere. I think it's on her, if I remember. Do you
Oh, so there's a green
remember?
herb on the table. There's 2 herbs over here on the table. Red herb.
Red herb. Oh wait, I'm full.
Red herb.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Where
come
are
on,
you, sir?
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
What are you
come
come-onning
on,
about?
Come on, come on.
Don't you want this red herb? Actually, no, never mind.
This
Come here.
one-
Come to
I have
me.
There's a red herb here, but here, let me use this.
Come
Where are you?
here, boy.
Let me heal you, bitch.
Come here, boy.
Let me heal you.
Come here, you dirty. Come here, you disgusting thing.
You can take
Oh
that
shit,
red
I was
one.
gonna do that.
You can take that red one.
Fuck.
I can't. I'm full.
Oh, well, there's another red one over there. I guess I'll take this one. And then I'll fuse this one. Oh, wait, whoops. Fusion.
Fusion.
Come on. And then I'll take this one. And then I gotta get the other one.
You ready for moon bases? Apparently, we're in a new space race. Don't know if you've been keeping up on that.
Say a new space race.
Yes, sir. A new
Didn't
space
didn't
race.
they just launch fucking...
They launched astronauts again to
What is it,
go
what is
to
it called?
the moon and back.
Artemis? Is it Artemis 2?
Artemis 2, Artemis 3, something like that.
Yeah.
I hope it succeeds.
I actually...
don't know if
yeah,
it's...
I fell asleep before they launched, so I was like, fuck, I gotta go watch it.
Do you know what happened to Artemis 1?
Was it?
No, the paint... That is Magnum ammo that you just took, buddy.
Wait, what?
I think you took Magnum ammo.
Oh, that it was?
Yeah, you have Magnum ammo. So here, let me give you this. You give me that.
Oh, you have a Magnum.
I have a Magnum.
Oh, wait, what am I doing trying to combine? What the fuck? Here you go,
Yeah,
Sam.
go ahead and combine it.
Oh, so
Let me know
that's
how
what
that
you
works
went
for
to
you.
get. That's what you went to get.
Yep.
Hmm.
I said, do you want a powerful weapon?
Got these hands.
You know what? You are Chris, so that's quite valid.
I got these hands. Powerful weapon.
It's actually a very valid
These
response.
hands. Oh shit! Ow!
Man, Chris, you can just use those hands.
You can't put hands on a... What? You want me to dig those up? God damn it! That fucked me up. Holy shit! That literally fucked me up. Got my health. You know what? I'm gonna heal myself.
It's almost like there's another green herb over there for you to combine that red one with.
I actually did.
Oh, well,
Oh,
there's
there's
another
this
green
one.
herb right
This
there.
one. Did we look in all the huts? Okay, oh. Bless me with another one. Any
Blessed.
machine gun ammo? I don't have space for it. Probably just drop these incendiary. Okay, goodbye. I'd rather want the ammos. Because I want to keep that grenade. I wish, you know, I had more pockets. Or a bag.
No buckets, no bag.
You said you can only hold 9 items. Oh, well, shit. Fuck me.
Your backpack's not big enough for that. I'm trying to remember.
Am I going the right way?
I'm trying to remember.
There's a ladder here. Is there... Are we missing anything? Did we get everything?
There we go. Dylan, I need a direction check.
Nothing here.
I'm lost.
This way, there's a ladder, sir.
Hey, come on! Come on!
Come on!
Come on!
Come on!
Come on!
Well, it is a ladder, but at least the ladder could just pull myself up there. What's this? The wheels in the sky
locked from
keep
the other
on
side.
turning.
All right, so you hold that, and then I go back down, and I cross.
Yeah. He cross, and then there's probably you probably open the door, huh?
I open the door, and I think there's a holdout for one of us.
Investigate.
Oh, hey, look, stuff to break.
It won't let.
Oh!
Look. It won't open. Get on a swivel.
Ah!
Oh, are you getting
You
fucked?
bitch! I was attacked by a snake.
A slithery snake?
I opened a jar, and it gave me a snake.
Yippee! You can use it. It's a whip.
Watch me whip.
Hello.
Hello! Watch me, nay. Okay.
A green herb. What's all this other stuff? Rifle
Yeah, I think
ammo.
I'm bailing on the rifle.
Gold.
I'm full on rifle ammo.
Money.
I have too much rifle ammo.
I can't even grab this herb.
Too
Oh,
much
well.
rifle ammo.
Oh, swell.
Handgun hammer.
So,
Can I go this way? I want to go this way.
No more
Over
rifle
here.
ammo. I'm guessing we progressed into the cave.
Nope. This is progression. Cave is extra. Go cave.
Oh.
I didn't mean to progress.
Cave extra.
Treasure.
Ooh, treasure. Money. Money. We love money.
Money.
Money. Do you believe?
Chris!
Ride.
Yes.
What are these called? Like gondolas or some shit? They're called?
Don't say the word gondola around me, okay? I have bad memories of gondolas.
Gondiggly dog.
It's not. No, I was playing Mob of the Dead. No, dude, I was playing Mob of the Dead with my boys back on Black Ops 2 back in the day. And no. I went down and I died, and we didn't have the gondola open. And when they
Oh.
finished the round to respawn me, it spawned me on the gondola, which, if you didn't know, when it's not open, has a kill barrier on it. So it killed me. No, it downed me, it killed me, and I went through that cycle. I went from like 1 down to fucking 15 in the time it took the round to change. It was dumb.
Should I put this in my thingy?
Remove
Should I put the rocket away for now? What do you think?
red rocket. Yum. Never mind. Oh, I hate myself for that one a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Should I upgrade now? Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that.
A final upgrade into firepower, yes.
Crit. 100%. 250 firepower. I am
Reload
poor.
speed maxed.
Let me upgrade. Maybe we'll upgrade this too. Firepower. Capacitor. Firepower. Capacitor.
Oh,
Wait, capacitor? Oh, it's only 500.
I can hold. I think I've maxed out firepower. Yep. Firepower maxed, reload speed maxed, crit maxed. Bro, look at me go.
You know what?
Look at me now.
You never know. I'm just gonna hold this. I'm just gonna hold this rocket launcher.
Hold on to it. You never know when you'll need it.
These flash grenades, I am going to put them over here in my inventory.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that.
I need at least some space for something. I don't know. I need a red herb. Okay.
He needs his herbs to be red.
I need the weed. I mean,
He needs to roll that herb.
he needs it.
He needs a Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Maybe that's all we need.
Yep.
We can go to the park after dark. Smoke
Oh,
that tumbleweed.
tumbleweed.
As the marijuana burns, we can take our turn singing them dirty rap songs. Stop and hit the bong like Cheech and Chong.
Hell yeah, money.
Money, money, money.
Oh.
Oh,
There was money.
What a random ass cutscene.
oh no, that man.
Oh hell
Oh.
no.
Oh no, that man.
Oh hell
Blah,
no.
blah, blah.
Riffle ammo.
That I got rid of my rifle. I prefer the pistol. Shotgun shells. Ring
The
them
music turned
bells,
on.
shotgun shells.
Music's on. That
We've been
means
spotted.
that means a problem. Eat that bitch. Eat this. Knuckle sandwich. He just gets a
He's got a thing on his head.
ow.
Give me, sir.
Get him. There's so many. I'm gonna kill that fucker over there. Get the fuck out of my way, bitch. Get in the water. He died. Oh wait, what?
Cheers.
Where they coming? Oh, they.
The bridge.
Oh. Wow. What you doing up here, bitch? Get off. Hit it with it. Another one.
Yeah, buddy, dropping down to me, probably the worst mistake of your life.
Okay.
Showing up to work today was second worst mistake, but dropping
Fucking
down.
shells up here, sir. Grab it for you. Push this way. Is
I
it?
don't know, you gotta, here.
Yep.
Nope, nope, go to the lever. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go
Whatever.
do things, man. I trust you. Take me for a ride on my big green tractor.
Flying bitch.
I clipped his wings.
He's dead.
He will be polite.
Here, go to the lever. No, go down.
Wait,
There's a lever at the end of that platform. Yeah.
Pull the lever crook.
Pull the lever. Crank the lever, but crank that all on the floor. Hey, G.
Oh, this is the only way to come back. Is that what that is? Oh wait, this is how you get to the switch.
Hello? Is there violence? Violence?
No, he got DC. My boy
Did I?
DC'd, yeah. It said you left.
No! Damn it.
If I invite you, dude, you just go and join in the game.
I'd have to get your checkpoint. I'm tempted to go get a drink while this does. Let's join. I'll be right back.
You're just drop something, girl. What was over here? Look, there's something. Yippee. There's a checkpoint. Is there a way to... I invite him? Will he join? That's the question. And now we wait. Boop, 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 boop. You lost any frames? It doesn't look like it.
Ozzy. Hospital. Happy grumpy old man. Searching for game to join. Okay. Do I just need to launch my game? Hello? I have to Alt F4 these shiz.
Do I have to leave this session or what?
No. No, you shouldn't.
Keep the power.
I just have to relaunch.
Skirt. Commander.
Ugh, I hate it here. Cool. Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Play game. Boop. Okay, here we go. Game session. Stella, lay down. Lay down, puppers.
Are you joining?
shit.
What's going on?
Trying.
Oh.
Maybe maybe we do need to reset it.
I'm going into the
WT.
game. Does it reset it? No.
Hurts my soul.
Does it load from the last checkpoint or does it reset the whole fucking level?
Good question.
Oh, we're just gonna do it. Fuck it. Okay.
I'm gonna say, to be fair, we weren't that far into this chapter. Or into this part of the
Yeah,
chapter.
it's literally just here. Running it in.
I'm ready. Promotion.
Okay. Start the game. I just don't understand why it keeps bugging you out like that. He's seeing you and shit. Okay. Invite to come.
Gummy. Yeah. Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Loading content. Load successful. Bet. Searching for game session. I'm
Printing.
getting toasty, so I'm gonna take off my hoodie. Glorp. What the glorb? Ugh. 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 Well, what is going on?
Is it loading? No.
It says searching for a game session.
What? Maybe it's bugged. Hold on. Should I freaking
Broke it.
reset it? Reset the game, right? How do I get out of here?
Game. Ugh.
I need a foot.
Here's the Alt F4.
Hmm.
I don't want to Alt F4, but he's making me Alt F4.
It's a game. Let me fail. What do you mean fail? Game, please. What doing? What doing, game?
Game, what do? How, why? What to?
Why? 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 He said, why? Why?
Why?
Sure, something here. Hold on. I'm gonna go something. Looking into something. Lookity doogity. Scoobity doobity.
a teenage dirtbag, baby. Listen to Iron Maiden, baby. I'm just a teen.
You bye.
Like you. Ooh.
Okay.
Resident Evil 5.
I gotta turn down this
There we
fan.
go.
It's freaking making me go. Back.
Resident Evil.
It's crack hours right now, apparently.
What's up?
What?
What's
Just like it's crack hours right now, apparently.
Crack hours.
Crack.
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 Crack. Why?
Crack announcements. Oh boy. I love the thumbnails for the announcement in Discord that we're live. That it shows.
What does it look like?
I don't know. I don't know why seeing this little model
Oh,
that
you
was
have the
whipped
fucking
up,
model.
it is
damn it.
just seeing it popped up like that kind of sideways, it puts a smile on my face. Okay, it makes me happy. That's all that matters in life is self-happiness. All right.
Is this a dude now, or does it has to have the boobers?
I got. Why don't you pop over and see real quick?
You're right. Physics.
Are you here?
Oh, okay, yeah. right when I
boom.
when I came into the thing, it whipped to the left.
Dum da dee doo, dum dum dee doo dee dum dum da. Oh, I'm in a black. Gee, my game crashed.
Did it actually?
It crashed.
It's your freaking boobers. God damn it.
They're too powerful. They're too powerful. They heard you insult them, so it stopped the fun.
This son of a gun.
So I realized something the other day, or today. I have like 3 or 4 Pokemon battle ready decks or whatever the fuck it is. And I have never played like the physical card game for Pokemon.
I've tried playing it online, and it's a little complicated. And I mean, it's complicated.
I
Because
played
don't
it
know how
on
to
like
play it.
I played it on like the TCG app. I'm gonna need another invite. And it wasn't that hard on the app, but like I don't know, something about like actually physically playing it. Low key kind of terrifies me.
I just like collecting.
I like shiny cardboard.
Wait. There was a Discord message here. Let me search. Y'all
Discord
like
message.
Minecraft?
I have that like every 2-month weekly fix of Minecraft or fiending for Minecraft. So yeah, I guess you could say I like it. We're gonna try this again. I won't do anything. Booba booba booba. Shiver! So does your Streamlabs auto clip, or how do you do your clips? How you do your highlights?
What do you mean, my clips?
You know what I mean.
Oh,
Do you go through and mark them manually? Do you have something do it?
I actually sometimes I'll watch it. Like I'll watch the whole fucking thing just to, and then I'll fucking what do you call it? I'll piece it.
Okay.
Are you talking about the shit that I have like
Yeah.
posted on like TikTok and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I manually do it. Is awaiting reply. Oh. Binary. We are back. But yeah, I manually do it. Like I'll watch my thing, but sometimes I'll put it like 2 times speed. Just to get through it and see if there's like anything clippable that I think is clippable or whatever. But yeah, everything's manual. But I keep seeing like people who are like, oh, you should use this.
You should use Eclipse. You should use...
Exactly. I keep seeing these fucking things and my shit is like, you know what? I have time. I can do it myself. It's fine.
I used Eclipse once, and I just like wasn't satisfied with it at the time.
Like,
Hey,
does it clip
we unlocked
perfectly,
the new
or do you
rifle.
have to? It's just friggin'.
It clipped some random ass shit.
Oh,
Like
so
maybe
they're
they've ironed it out now.
So they were lying.
Like, so the way Eclipse was working, it seemed like, was like for cool moments or like pop off moments, if that makes sense. Like Call of Duty clips, like double kill, triple kill, quad. And you know me, I'm not that kind of fucking. I don't do that kind of stuff. I'd like to think I'm a funny guy.
Funny guy. See ya.
I'd like to think. Oh shit. That man. Oh no.
Fucking
We've never seen this
man.
before.
Alright, I was
Who could
tapped
have
out.
guessed that man was going to get eaten?
Tapped out because we've seen this before. 2 for 1. A grenade. How far can I throw it? Oh, I went in the water. I'm great. I'm good.
Here's the story, all about how... Oh, there's machine gun ammo. I'll pick this up if you have an empty slot. I'll bring it to you. Call me X, because I'm going to give it to you. Oh,
Oh, fuck you. Turn around. Right eyes. Fuck you. Get out of the sky. That's you.
Hi.
Oh, shit.
Ow.
Hey,
That's
motherfucker.
rude. He could have seriously hurt one of us. Come here. Don't
Hit him
jump.
with a
Don't,
pow.
don't think about it.
Why do I look up like that? What the hell?
Alright, anyways. Here. This is yours.
Thanks, sir. You know what? I got some first.
Which
I got
one?
some first.
Ooh, feel good.
Feel good.
And gun.
Feel good. Yeah. I go ras.
Some people insane. They call it insane.
In the membrane?
Nah, I was doing sugar. Sugar. Alright, I'm gonna go across and fight people.
Have fun. Have a good time.
I'm not scared of you. I have a shotgun. Get in the water.
Oh, I killed that one.
Did I just drop them down to you?
Wait, why are there 2 over here? Oh, they're going up 2? For some reason? Oh, never mind. That's dead. Oh, killed them. Let me get to the lever. Row, row, row your boat. Let's hope you don't DC in the middle of this again. This takes
There's
forever.
the music.
Why is there music? Oh, the crocodiles. Yeah, the crocodiles.
What's up, nerd? Get bobbed and weaved, losers.
Crocodiles.
Lyle,
What, you
crocodile.
mate? Fit me on.
Ooh, get shit on. Ooh, weaved. Oh, you see the footwork I'm putting on him, G? You see the footwork? Ooh.
That's Steve Irwin.
I just need you to know I'm doing all this in heels, by the way. I have like 1.5 inch heels on, 2-inch heels.
Man,
Was good.
at least they're like the thick heels.
Yeah,
Could you imagine if they were a
a
freaking
little pencil thing snap under me.
snaps? Oh! Or it'll get caught between the logs. Oh, GG. It's over.
GG's. Bye, 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 my baby, bye.
Bye. Bye.
I'm gonna push the button.
And
Guys,
we're
push the button.
into going in the cave.
I swear this game had something with feet. Oh, there's a button in front of me. Let me kick it. Oh, there's a door in front of me. Let me kick it. The giant thing we fought wanted to step on us.
I mean,
What is it with these weirdos?
they gotta use They gotta use anything, right? Come on. You got hands, you got feet.
Throw me.
Checkpoint.
Shiver!
Come on! Come on!
Into the cave. Mysterious cave.
Scared to alt tab.
Oh,
I gotta fix something. Something broke. I'm scared to alt tab.
what broke?
Ugh. I'm gonna do it.
Gotta go fix it if something's broken. Zoom in, zoom out. Yippee!
Okay, here we go. And relaunch. Fixed. Ta-da! We're good. I'm here. I didn't break it.
Did your little thingy break?
Yeah. It was like sideways. They're tracking sideways. I'm like, ah! Tricell! Oh, wait, not yet.
Tricell.
Oh my god.
From the BSAA. What the hell are they
How'd you
doing?
know? Oh my god, he's from the future. Snake?
I'm from the future.
It's not bothering me, it's fine. What's in here? Ooh, a clipboard.
Paper.
Type 3 Plagus. What? Field test.
The 3 or loss?
Type 3 Plagueis.
Las Plagius. Dark
La
Plagius.
Plagas. Or whatever. I don't know. What the hell is this? Type 3
Las
is,
Plagas.
I don't want to read anything. I don't. You know what? I don't care. Too much reading. Could have made it simplified.
Hey, look, first aid spray. Gee, take that.
Ooh, ammo.
Hey, look, a hospital bed.
Hey, look, a bow. Is that it? Oh,
Hey, look,
something
oil.
here. A grenade.
Hey, there's a bug here. On.
What? Snake.
Hey, look, there's
Go away,
gold.
snake. What's in here?
Hey, look, a barrel.
Barrel.
Handgun ammo.
Money. Money, 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 money. Okay. You're a boss in here?
arrived at the oil field.
Yeah. And Irving's not getting away this time.
Why am I looking up like that? Angle that. Looks like it's an entrance to a boss area.
Come on!
The hell's in the sky? What the? I see a shadow.
Look to the sky, see my army of lies when no one's alive.
Oh, it's like there's a
Bring me
shadow.
115. What? Oh, hello.
It's
Hey,
all
yo, let me draw the whip. Let me draw the whip.
How you gonna drive a whip that's upside down, brother?
It's not upside down. It's perfectly fine.
What? This guy's in a whole nother universe.
We've been over this. We're not going back down that road.
I'm from an alternate dimension. I am not a part of your world.
This is not my original road.
A small amount of gold.
Oh, God. I shot the dynamite out of the air.
Wait a minute. Of course. Of fucking course. Of fucking course it's you.
I believe in you. You got this.
Stop me, bitch. I gotta take a whip.
Watch him whip. Do. Watch me, no.
Good night. Sweet dreams. Oh, I didn't mean to pick up stuff. I meant to punch you. It was just... Oh, cutscene. I don't know why, but...
Because I'm doing stuff.
Get out of here. So what's around? I see a lot of money. Where am I? Oh, there's you over there.
Handgun. Gold.
Oh. I'm assuming you have to open this. That's what it is.
Sir, you better kill me where I stand. Or I will end you. Your head's probably gonna pop, isn't it? No, it didn't.
Why is this gotta open when I can just climb this thing right here? There's a... I can literally just climb through the rails.
Bro.
Hello?
We don't ask Resident Evil these questions.
Chainsaw Man. Wait, where is he? Is he on my side?
I low-key hope he's on your side, because I am not paying attention to the jump up by me.
I have no idea where I'm going. I'm assuming you're...
I hear him. Oh.
Oh yeah, he's on your side. Eat this. Oh. Where's he going now?
I don't know, but I need him to come back over here.
Oh, he's coming to me, that son of a bitch.
He is.
What? Why do you go that way?
I don't know, but I put a 357 around in his back,
Johnson,
so...
what is that?
Drop treasure.
Ooh, treasure.
Treasure, Squidward. Treasure.
This was... Oh, I see. How do we get the... How do you get
Anyway.
the other one? Oh, I'm
I
assuming
don't know.
we... No.
I'm doing all this off memory.
Oh, wait. I think I gotta boost you up over here. I think that's what it is.
No, you don't.
No?
Not yet. Maybe. Possibly.
Yeah, I think I gotta boost you up. Hold on. Can't remember which way I came from. It's a maze. I've never been here before.
No.
No booster?
Go back to where you were shooting homie from. Go up there. And there's a lever you pull. It's gonna bring you a zip line. And you're gonna take a zip line.
Wait, what is this? There's a grenade. See a lever? Oh, you're talking about all the way back over there.
I got it. I'm here.
The end. The end. Oh, let me do it.
See? You.
Let me experience this.
I'll call it over for you. You're gonna go for a ride. Go for a ride, boy. You can go for a ride.
Yippee! Yippee! Who created this? Ain't no way this is like actually an oil mine here. Zip
It is
line
modeled
like that.
after an actual oil platform in the Gulf of America.
Oh, okay. Show me proof.
I'm out of here. Bye.
Right when I open this thing? Are you serious? If Kersey opens it.
He's
Fuck
whipping.
you. Get out of my face. Run, baby, run.
Don't ever look back. They'll tear us apart if you give them the chance.
Oh, have fun.
Come here, boy. I believe in shotgun. You missed. Huh?
Eat this. Knuckle
Bop, bop.
sandwich. Oh shit, fuck you. Like that? Oh shit.
We are putting a lot of faith in our weaponry being able to stagger him.
Eat that, bitch. Oh, yeah. No.
I'm reloading, G stagger.
Got him. Get off him. We're just standing right in front of him.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Hell yeah. Eat that.
That was terrifying. I went to go pull the trigger and she started putting shells and I'm like, no!
Don't stop shooting.
Please, for the love of God, stagger.
Chris!
Okay,
Chris!
come on, Roger, come
Hurry
on,
up!
Roger,
Chris!
come on.
Come on! Hurry up! Hurry up!
Come on.
Hurry
Come
up!
on. Come on.
Chris!
Let's see. Boss fight?
Wow. Oh, I saw breakable barrels. Ooh.
Shit.
Breakable barrel.
Candy. There's candy in those pinatas. Oh.
Josh?
Wow, crazy. You survived when your entire team died back in the village.
Are you okay? What?
And you happen to be going the same way as the bad guy?
Report when we were attacked.
I don't know.
Well, I ended up here. Where's the rest of the team? Shit.
It's just the three of us now.
Why did you not retreat? I mean, we are no match for them.
I've got unfinished business.
The hard drive containing data on the BOW experiment had a picture inside. The picture was of Chris's friend.
A friend?
I'm not leaving until I catch Irving and find out what the hell's going on here.
Of course.
Let's save the chit-chat for later. Shipper, cover me.
Hurry!
Hurry! Come on! Come on! Come on!
Crazy. You're telling me you made it through the entire enemy-infested area we just ran through? Excuse me.
I'm just gonna stand here and wait. Where are they?
There's machine gun ammo over here by me.
Hell yeah!
Nice job. Don't let your guard down. There's bound to be more of them around.
Where you at? Ugh.
Fucking do it.
Stay right there. Don't move.
Oh, I haven't been paying attention to my own. Please.
Weird flex, but okay. Bonk.
Forgetting I have a health bar. Sir, please. If you don't have money, please do not come up to this window.
Almost got it.
Oh, big bitches. Oh, shit. Big bitches.
You get over there? See me turn around? I'm fighting
Oh,
Luigi!
There's big bitches.
Oh!
Oh, shit, get in.
On the elevator. Move!
Fuck 'em.
Elevator now. Just elevator.
Oh, my God.
Ow!
You really just freaking...
Okay. Frame perfect, I guess.
Oh.
Are we in?
Up. I was about to go in and I got
Mash the
freaking...
button.
That guy really just rushed me, bro.
Excuse me.
Bitch.
Get out of my way. I have a shotgun.
I'm going to assume
Anything
this
in my
keep
way
running.
is... Anything in my way will cease to be in my way.
Get out. Oh, of course. Oh, fucking course. Ow.
On the ground.
Ow.
Excuse me. I'm just gonna break these. What you got in here for me? Handgun. Don't mind if I do. Proximity mine. Oh, God.
Please die. Good, thank you.
There should be an exit up ahead. Go!
I'm going up.
Going up.
Oh, money.
I'm gonna be golden.
Yippee. Hold on. There's stuff here.
Break these.
Ammo. Nope.
Handgun.
Shotgun ammo.
Damn it.
Shotgun ammo
Is
over
everything
here
locked
at the
down?
end.
Coming. Shotty, you're in the way. Thank you. Alright, now who want a box?
Oh. Okay, he did.
This is going to be a pain in the ass. Let's see what I can do.
Alright. Okay. I hope they drop ammo because I am literally
Not big shit again. You two,
out.
engage those hostiles.
Put that there.
Let's hang out.
Do not.
Oh, there's barrels somewhere.
We need the Chainsaw Man to step on that one, so shoot everything but Chainsaw Man. Here they come. Back up.
Okay, waiting for the chainsaw man.
Drop down.
Boom. Wait a minute.
Oh, God.
Wait a minute. That's not good. Wait a minute.
Okay.
I have no fucking ammo in my machine gun.
Open the door.
Holy shit. I literally have 6 bullets left in my pistol.
I was right up against the door. I'm like, nope.
I think so.
You said you're out of ammo. I'm like, we can't fight him. I
Okay.
want to fight him for the treasure, but we can't fight him.
It looks like Irvin is trying to blow up the place and make his escape. You must stop him before it is too late. I'll try to find us a way out of here.
All right. We'll go after Irving.
Good. Okay. Now there's a dock up ahead. That is probably where he's going to make his break.
Copy that.
That is probably where he's going to make his escape.
Be careful.
Wait a minute.
Let's hurry.
Be careful.
Okay.
Be careful. Let me do this. Go.
Yeah,
Wait, is there stuff up there? Is there stuffings? No stuffing.
No stuff. We need supplies. Can I go back in?
Oh, wow. Wow, crazy. Josh is going off on his own to
Oh
go
my
do
God,
something. while we
wow.
would
Look,
fix-
they were literally just here. And they disappeared right when we went through the door. Makes no sense.
Sure would be a shame if they turned the fuck around.
Whoops, did not make... Here.
What'd you do?
There you go. Did
Damn,
not
shotgun
mean for
ammo.
that. That's not for me, that's for you. You're a shotgun man.
Ocean Man.
Chris! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry
Roger.
up! Hurry up!
Roger. Come on.
Roger.
Roger. Chris, you keep talking like that. I'm gonna think you're a B1 battle droid.
Roger.
Machine gun ammo.
Roger.
Gold.
Roger. Just start saying Roger. Anything else here?
Open the door. Alright, so hold on. Second. In a second. Don't go too far now.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. This is just gonna trigger a scene.
Hey, what the hell is the use of this? What the hell is the use of the area if it just leads to the same place?
To hide stuff.
What the heck?
There's a hand grenade there. You want a hand grenade? There's a hand grenade.
Well, I have space. I'll take it. I will take. Of course. And when I picked it up.
Wait, isn't that?
Splendid timing! You two are just in time for the fireworks show!
Oh, it's it. I don't know why he looks like a
This
guy
dude
from It.
ugly.
It's Pennywise.
Wait!
Of course. A whole mob.
Shiva, do you read me? I secured a boat.
Oh wow, crazy. None of them are chasing Josh.
Meet here on the double.
Oh, missed.
Oh, I'll give it to you later. I found machine gun ammo.
Oh, burn missile. Whoops.
Okay.
Oh, burned us.
All right. Out of my way.
Together forever. Oh, we have a time.
Yep. I'm whipping out the shoddy.
Shawty.
I missed.
These guys aren't making this easy.
Oh, fuck you.
Hurry up, you two.
Oh.
We are running out
Is that a
of
mine?
time.
What just happened?
Let me heal you.
Just keep running. Right?
Dogs. I'm stuck. Hey, broski. I'm just out of my way. To the side, please. Thank you. Oh, gee, no! Don't leave me! Don't leave me!
Get off.
Go to the docks. Yeah, get him.
He's, yeah,
Don't leave.
He's invincible. I think. Oh. Whale rig explosion.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Cool guy, don't look at explosion.
Explosion.
That's the end of it, huh? Chapter. End of chapter 2.
Let's go. Forward. Unto battle.
Can view the Shiva file. No.
The files. View the files. Gotta sail.
Upgrade a capacitor.
So before upgrade, let me upgrade the capacity of this. Boom.
Can I upgrade this rocket? 2 bullets, please. Never mind.
No, I didn't want to do that.
Skate upgrade. Dang it.
My shotgun now holds 10 in the tube. Upgrade.
Oh, there's a piercing on this one? Give me the piercing. Give me the piercing. Oh, 12k for the next. What the fuck? Next upgrade is 12. Ocean 9.
I'm ready.
You're ready? Ready?
I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready, Freddy.
Yippee!
Hey, y'all ready for this? Bum 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 bum.
Stretch.
Dude.
God. What happened to Irving?
My eye.
Ooh.
Well, he can't have gone too far.
Josh.
Thanks.
Of course they can
Thank
drive.
you later. We got company.
I'm on it.
We got you covered.
And then scene. And then fucking
Here
shit.
we go. Hang on tight.
Hit that bitch. This guy's doing that? There's stuff over there.
Damn it.
Ammo.
Gates closed.
Of course,
See
somebody.
what you two can do to get it open.
To the left, to the left. Oh shit, things gonna stop. Flyer!
Forgive me, but I'm not exactly trying to fight you all.
Gimme, gimme. Pull the lever, crunk. Yep, yep, yep. Ooh, there's stuff. Ooh, money. You know what? I'm not fighting you. I came what I came here for. I got what I came here for. Into the boat I go.
Here I come. I am Cinnamon.
All right, let's go.
Oh, I thought he jumped on the boat.
Oh!
Get down. Another pipe. Get down.
Another pipe. Oh shit. Any other goodies? Oh shit! Me die. Good luck.
Another gate. Okay, you two know what to do.
Fuck you, bitch. Get up. Get up. And up. And up for your right.
Get up, come on, get down with sickness.
Oh, sorry. Oh shit, what the fuck? Is that a machine gun?
Yes.
Oh shit. Can you get on it?
I do believe you can.
Oh yeah, this. Got a hold. Okay, you. Anybody else around?
A problem.
I don't see anybody. Shucking the shells.
Stuff later.
No. open this.
There's 2 levers down here we gotta pull.
Oh.
I got a radar.
Where are you? Oh.
I'm running through grabbing the loots.
Oh,
I'm being a loot goblin.
that's fine.
I'll get over there.
Let me get loot too then, okay? Oh, I missed this thing. Money!
Show me the money!
Hey,
Hey, that's mag ammo? Don't mind if I do.
Give me the money. Okay.
Don't mind if I do.
What number is this? Where are you?
Nowhere.
You got something.
No, I didn't.
I saw something.
You didn't see shit.
You got the goop. He's gooping. I am going to get rid of this.
I may or may not have discovered a new shotgun.
I think you did. I saw something.
You can't prove that.
Yep, I saw something. Run it back. Well, let me roll the clip. I'm just kidding. I have a hella shotgun ammo for you.
Oh, hey, look, rifle ammo. That weapon type I don't have. Here, hold on.
What? 13 more.
Oh. Ha. Interesting.
You know what? I'll combine my greens.
I was gonna say, just use 1 green. Because I'm not full health.
Okay, there you go.
And then I'll give you this.
Oh, perfection.
Much appreciated.
That. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's gonna work? Teamwork.
Alright.
Pull the lever, Crunk!
Aye, aye, Captain.
Back to the boat.
Wait, there's a thing.
We don't have time for things.
Yes, we do. Loot is loot.
Exterminate.
Hell yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go that way.
Ah, shit. Hey, don't.
Oh, what?
That doesn't work, buddy. Wait, did he pull up? Where'd he go? Josh! Ah, Josh!
What happened?
It's grabbing my noggin.
Oh, God. What's going on?
Get on a boat.
So where are you guys? Am I blind? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm retarded.
Get on the boat.
I am special. Okay.
I got turned around. Bye.
Sometimes I glow. Oh, wait, sometimes when we touch.
I got new gun.
Honesty's too much.
I wonder, can I give you my Ithaca?
What's a Ithaca?
My shotgun that I have on me.
Shouting. Oh shit.
Oh. It's a lot.
Really? They have this thing? That's insane.
They're gonna sink us! We've got to do something!
Let's take theirs.
Bro, how are we still alive? There's no cover on this boat.
Hold on!
They can't aim. Get on the boat.
What are you going to do about them?
You're just one of Excella's playthings. It was your master who was supposed to
One more time. What are you going to do about them?
All right. I'll handle it.
Use it.
This.
Oh my god, it's a drug.
He's gonna get high.
Won't you two just die already? You're making me look bad.
Seriously, this is Pennywise,
this
no?
entire operation underground. Research like this doesn't fund itself, you know.
It'll float
Everyone
down
looks
here.
down on me. But not anymore.
Don't do it!
Not anymore, he said. A fucking horse. He's going Super Saiyan. Ew.
I'm far beyond anything you could ever hope to become.
What the frick?
He's swimming.
What is he, a kraken? He turned into the kraken. What are the trimmers?
I just had an extreme makeover.
He's a water. Okay. I'm guessing we use
Status report.
the.
What the hell is that thing?
Just get out of here, Josh. It's too dangerous.
Is there two? There's two on the side. Right? Well, I'm Destron, this is how we play.
Understood. Just try not to get yourselves killed.
It overheats just like after one shot. What the hell was that? Okay, I missed. What the hell? I seem to have been knocked over.
What in the dead space is going on?
Okay. I am horrible at this. There we go. Oh. I'm guessing he's gonna switch sides.
Behind!
Oh. And now I gotta go run over here to this one. Okay, I keep...
I didn't dodge.
I also do dodge. Of course, he's on the side now.
What in the fish and chips?
What do you mean FV? FV? What do you mean? It's just tripping me out. Oh my god, I don't... What are the... Tell me FV.
What the... Hello?
Who uses F and V?
Apparently they do.
Hit him with a dodge. Maybe behind, sure. What? Of course. Now we shoot him, right?
Yeah.
Get out of here. ugly.
Back into the briny depths.
Oh!
Oh shit!
Help! Help!
What's that? Fucking die, bitch, die! Oh, you mother... That is so fast.
I may have gotten off the turret and just ran to the back of the boat. He bit his own tongue.
What a horrible transformation. Look at you.
Tell me what you're planning to do.
Damn, Excella! I guess I wasn't worth the good stuff.
Excella.
Where is this facility? Answer me. What is the Ouroboros project?
You say, yeah. Wow, you two are just on top of everything, aren't you? The balance of the world is changing and you're completely oblivious to it.
What's changing? What are you talking about? Is it the Ouroboros project? Is that it?
No one can stop it. Ouroboros is about to change everything we've ever come to know. Chris! See, you're Chris.
What's so funny? How do you know about me?
All your answers are wait ahead, Chris. In that cave. If you can survive long enough to get them. Italian's not so bad, but it's not gonna change anything. You're still screwed!
We're wasting time here.
Chris!
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Poor bastard.
Bubbly.
Now
Oh,
what?
bastard.
It's the bubbly.
We keep going.
We keep going.
We keep going. Forwards.
End of chapter 3-3. Jesus,
Oh,
my
yeah.
accuracy looks like ass.
Damn.
Holy crap.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's
God.
crazy.
Yeah.
Sub 70 accuracy couldn't be me.
You know what, brother? It is what it is. On to the next.
Couldn't be me.
You know what? Fuck you.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm happy you broke your arm. Let me just remove that.
You sell stuff? Oh, okay. I made a
We got
1K.
stuff to
Oh, yippee.
sell. Boom. A $1,000.
$1,000.
Yes. I am Lord.
I am poor. An upgrade.
I am Iron Man.
Why not?
37 bullets.
37. Yours at
37.
37.
Number 5.
Foot lettuce or what? Thing like that. Some kind of foot thing
Something
about
like
foot
that.
lettuce.
Something about feet and lettuce.
Let us pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Let us pray. Amen.
All that matters, right? Amen.
We'll do this one more time. Let us pray. Amen. Hey, wait, where the fuck did Josh come from?
So this is the place he was talking about.
Wait, you're right.
That's
Where
the boat the
did
woman
you
used to
come
get
from?
away.
Didn't this boat get shut the hell up?
What happened to the big boat we were on?
You two are really going to go through with this?
Yes.
This is not just about Jill, but the Ouroboros project as well.
I guess there's nothing I can do to stop you. I will call HQ and try to get the withdrawal order rescinded. We'll also try to get you back up. Try not to get yourselves killed.
Josh.
No promises. Bye, Josh. It's
You're the
crazy
best,
how you
Josh.
magically get away from everything and don't have to do any of the fighting.
Oh, so what you're saying is he's
It's crazy.
he's evil.
That name, Irving said. Excella.
Heard it before?
What do you
That's the
think?
name of the director of Tricel's African division.
Do you think she
He
can be
has
connected
plot
to
armor,
Irving?
and it's there for a reason.
But I don't have any proof.
I just don't know
There is a
why.
connection. What does that mean for Africa?
Very,
Oh,
you're
look, fire in a rib
But if we
cage.
keep
Very
going, we're bound to
suspicious.
find out.
True.
Very
Let's move.
suspicular.
We'll see.
I have a shotgun. In it go burr.
What the hell are these now?
Uh,
Oh my god, spiders.
it matters not because I have a shotgun.
And they have money.
I
No-
have feet. I'm
no-
out of here.
No idea why spider have money, but no climb for you.
Ah, yes. Kick the ladder down. That will
Shotgun.
stop the spiders.
No, it'll stop somebody. Just don't know who.
No. Oh God. Oh God.
Oh my god. Oh my god. There's so,
Get it off. Get it off.
there was
Here's
so
me.
many. They're still behind us.
There's
Oh,
treasures.
Oh god. Oh god. Disgusting little things.
Oh God.
Get them all. Die.
Ah, yes. My favorite way to deal with spiders.
It's a
Shotgun.
Full blast of lead.
Chris! Come on!
Roger, come on!
Hurry up! Chris!
Roger.
Chris.
Chris Rogers.
Chris Rogers. He might be stronger than Captain America.
Wait a minute.
Captain America's unknown older brother.
It said unknown older brother.
I never knew such a place existed here.
Looks like there's been some recent activity.
I hope Irving was telling the truth when he said we'd find answers in this place.
Piece of candy.
This place sucks.
Never.
None of that. There's handgun ammo here. You need
I'm
some?
Tomb Raider.
I am raiding the tomes. Huh.
There has to be something in here. right?
Bodies with giant spikes inside of them. Surely we won't fight one of those guys again.
Come on!
Oh my god, we're rich. Money, money, money.
We're Laura Croft in this bitch.
Eat that spider. No spider.
I love how the spiders have nothing to do with anything in here. And it's just death by fucking...
Eat the bullet. Oh look. Of course there's people in here. In the ruins. Oh, of course, we get split. Alright. Good luck to me.
Good luck, buddy. I guess I'm going down.
Let's see. This requires
Okay.
2 people, so I'm assuming you come back for this later. I'm just looting things. I don't know where... Oh, there's somebody right there. Oh, an herb. Herbs and spices. I'm gonna walk. Of course, there's a fucker with a shield.
That's machine gun ammo.
Of course.
Hold on to that
Of
for
course.
you.
Of course. Where's my other gun? This requires a machine gun. Because fuck your shield, bitch. Hit him with a bop. Get the hell out of my way.
Oh!
Get out of
He
my
whips his
way.
hand back and forth. He whips his hand back and forth.
Get out of my
Hello,
way.
Oz. Thank you for sharing the live.
Oh, you're on a tiki tacky.
No. 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 No.
Wait, what? I have space for this. Why isn't... Oh. Enlighten. Combine. Oh, the music
This is the
stopped.
part where the
Oh,
rap
hello.
breaks down. Oh, hi. How are you, friend? How was your adventure?
There's something we can open here, sir.
Open. Open sesame.
Sheva!
Here.
Sheva! Sheva! Come on!
Here,
come
fellow.
On, come on! Sheva! Sheva!
Here, fellow
come on,
explorer.
Hurry! Sheva! 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 Come on! Come on! Come on! Sheva!
Wanna.
Come on, Sheva. What?
Bruv.
Of fucking course. It leads into a freaking...
Shit.
Oh shit! I got attacked.
Hey, look, treasure chest.
Fuck you.
Nothing bad ever comes of opening a treasure chest.
It looks dangerous. It's red.
Oh, spider!
Surprise! Oh, this one has emerald. A small piece of candy. You dead yet? No. Oh! Ah! Ah! Help!
I'll shoot it off.
Get out of here!
Not gonna lie, that was kind of funny. I didn't even see that spider. It just jumped from
It
off
just
screen.
jumped on me. Oh, there's How does he have two?
Don't do it. Spidey.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Get off me. Why does he have two torches? What the hell's going on here? It's so bright. Oh god damn it. Oh shit. Okay, reload. Turn around, bright eyes. Unload clip. And kaboom.
Unload,
Kablow.
show clear. What did you just
Kaboom.
call it? A clip? Hey, look. Machine gun ammo.
Fancy.
Turn around, bright eyes.
I was gonna do this, but I pulled out my
Every
ammo.
now and then I fall apart. And I need you more than ever. I'm not going in there. Never mind. We can go home now. We live here now. This is our home. It's pretty nice. Pretty spacious. We got
No.
3 hallways. We got a
No,
we got a
thanks.
common living area.
I'm gonna move a lot.
I don't like our neighbors. They don't look friendly.
Get off my lawn!
Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on, before you trigger anything.
The question
Got
is,
it.
do I have any grenades? I have an
your
RPG,
back.
but
You have a rocket-propelled grenade.
I'm assuming that for a special occasion. I don't know what the occasion is.
Let's go, Leroy! Bop! Bop!
Okay. What do you mean?
Oh, I'm reloading.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Not so
Take your
tough without a
ammo.
shield, are you,
Take your-
fucker?
Oh shit.
You have a bow. Why are you running up to me?
Because he wants a close up.
It's like, sir, that is a bow and arrow in your hand.
He
Oh yeah,
wants
this is
100% accuracy. Okay? 100, but he failed to do the 100 and got blasted in the face. Oh,
ah shit.
Of course.
Balls!
What in the flying fuckery is that? Wait a minute.
What does it look like?
What the hell?
What does it look like?
Why are they moving around like that? Do I have to turn this? Oh. I'm gonna assume this is part of the thing that we have to turn this. Oh, you're trying to grab stuff. Wait, there's so much stuff in there. Hold on, I gotta check something.
You're good. This is a safe space. What you got, check? What you doing?
I had to go check something. Oh, is he gone? Hello?
Yeah, no, I'm here. Sorry. I was looking at stuff.
Go check something.
I was looking at my phone.
Had to make sure nothing was burning in the kitchen. It'd be like that sometimes. Mama fall asleep.
Hold on, hold on. Run! There's machine gun ammo up there.
Oh my god, really?
Don't touch the balls.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, fuck me.
Oh. It's a time.
That's ridiculous. Anyways, let's do it again, and we just run straight forward. Like, what is this? What are these random flaming balls, and who's making these?
Ready? Go!
Run!
Run!
Why can't I roll? Oh shit, it's coming. Oh, one of us just had to make it. Thank gosh.
Only one of us has to make it.
Golly, I'm fucked. I got fucked. Hold on.
I am the one finding gun.
Let me heal myself.
Don't need a gun to give respect on the street.
Golly, I got friggin' explosive balls.
You got freaking get exploded by the balls.
There's no way of avoiding it.
No ball.
There were two of them
Hey,
next to each other.
No balls exploded on me.
Lucky for you, I don't have plot armor.
Surely we're not staying or falling for that blatant
Alright,
trap.
let me go for the sides of this. Oh, fuck me. Okay, this is literally this has to be tuned. We are Lara Croft. Oh.
Hey, pick me up. Hey, bro, res me.
Why'd they have to? Why'd they cross jump like that?
Takes me back to like the night before my wedding. I got hammered with Kunkel and my buddies from home. And me and Kunkel were bounding. We were doing that. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Knees, weak hand, prone. No. I don't know why. And then my one buddy who had no clue decides to join in. And rather than knees, weak hand, prone, he fucking dolphin dives over me.
Watch this.
So we're just like, fuck it, go with it.
Damn belly flopping.
What's over here? I'm not going down the obvious trap. Fuck you.
You gotta take the path least traveled first. Yeah, what is on this side? Anything special?
I found treasure. Arr. It's either this one or the cave mission that you fucking, my buddy was saying, you play for money.
I don't even play for money.
You go back and replay it because the amount of like treasures you get.
Oh, it's like a mini game, pretty much.
Huh? No, like, you know how we've been shooting down the gems and collecting them? Your money, like, saves through your playthrough into your save file, so you can go to, like,
play
chapter
the
select.
same level. Is that what you're
Yep.
saying?
Yeah, you just play the level and go back, get your treasures. Here's a part in here that really sucks. Not really sucks, but...
Okay, I guess we gotta go.
Alright, here we go. Here we go to the obvious trap.
Oh my god, look, there's like a... What is that?
There you go.
Hell yeah. Grenade launcher, RPG, be explosive. Boom,
They call
boom,
him
firepower. Oh, you have to go around. What? How do you get to the other side?
Break down.
Double lever, right?
Hold up.
Oh, are you
Hold
gonna
up.
get it?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. I ran off, and as I ran off, it came back to me.
This looks familiar, I think.
Come on!
Pull. What an interesting contraption. Ooh. Wait. Okay. A reward and the way up. Okay. Yippee.
Yippee! Yippee!
We did it.
I ran too far.
What the hell?
Ran too far.
No,
I
got cut
didn't.
off. We got cut off.
We go my way, not your way.
I did it my way.
Good song. Great song, even.
Apparently there's this thing in the Philippines, like, with that song. Apparently people got murdered over that song.
Ha!
Because I think if you don't sing it well, people will get killed.
Oh, hey, look.
I think that was the story. I would have to double check on that, but that's what I heard.
Come on!
If you're a horrible singer,
Hurry up! Chris! Hurry up! Chris!
oh, another lever. Oh, I'm guessing it
Come on!
triggers
Come on!
the stairs again.
Chris! Come on!
Yeah. Oh, my head itch. My head's itchy.
And then we gotta go the other way. I'm assuming this goes
Get
down.
my head.
Oh wait, it goes up. It's a whole bridge. Okay. Could you imagine someone doing this to like their house where it's just a whole freaking puzzle?
So you've never played the first Resident Evil game, huh? You gotta get the 10k gem. Oh, where's the 10k gem? How do I get the 10k gem? I don't remember. How do I do it?
Is that the
Where's
gem?
it at? No, that was a thing.
Oh,
Shut up.
of course, it triggers some shit. Of course, there's a bunch of randoms in this cave. Golly, look at that. Thought I shot you, bitch.
I'm leaving him to fend for himself. He's actually doing really well.
Ow.
Get outplayed.
Okay, stop him in the
Absolute
chest.
scrub lord. Back to the lobby.
Hit him with it. Oh,
XDL.
this guy's still. Wait, where'd this guy go? Give me your money. Empty your pockets. He's shotgun. The guy took a whole shotgun to his chest and he still got it.
Respect.
Get out of here. Go fall down. Eat that. Who else? Who wants them?
This dude really said he ain't bitch made.
Come here.
Bro.
And he's dead.
Just the way that looked on my screen. Oh, God.
What else is up? Of course.
A problem.
Oh, and he's dead. That's crazy. Is there anything at the end here? No. How the fuck did they... They came from this area, but where the fuck did they actually come from? There's literally no way. No way. Make it make sense.
My head itch.
Okay. Yeah. Let me jump down now. Where are you? Where art thou?
I'm over here. You're over there. Hey, hold on. Is there a statue over there with one thing on it?
Statue.
Your statue with one arm over there.
One arm. Where? I don't see. Nope, I don't see a statue.
I don't know.
I don't see a statue with one arm.
I don't know then. Unless it's... Oh! Hold on. How do I get down to that?
Did you figure it out?
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. How do I get down there?
That guy.
How do I get down there?
Is it blocked?
I think you get down to it from
right here.
whatever
You can
side
jump
you
from
want.
here. Oh wait, never mind. That's not it.
You jump across.
It just jumps across. Let me jump
Hold
down.
Oh, I got it. Here, go to the hand. Go to the hand. I think.
What
Wait.
hand? Oh, you're talking
Thought
about
I
one
had
up
it.
here. Did you?
Oh, I need these to go down. Son of a bitch. Okay. Maybe if we pull that, these go down, and then I can go down there and do the thing.
Did I pull this? Am I pulling this?
Here, let's do this one.
Oh, okay.
Come on!
Oh,
I could be all wrong about this and completely screw us over.
I mean, how else is this? Right?
Please go down. Go down.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. Alright. So I'll go down. Do that one.
Oh, piece of candy.
Gems! So much money!
Yeah, I'll open up. Oh, fucking course. There's a spider. Fuck you.
Just pull the switch. Pull your switch.
There's a spider in my way.
Please pull your switch before they jump on me.
He was body blocking me, bro. And then we run.
Nah, you grab the treasures. And then we run.
Oh my god, it almost jumped on me. And there's a guy with a torch. Oh, he's going down to you.
There's a man in my way!
Yeah, there's somebody going towards you for some reason. He avoided me and jumped down from the second floor. Where exactly are you? No, the question is, where am I? Going the right way? I have no idea.
Probably are. I saw barrels. I'm sorry, did that man just breathe fire?
Is that what this guy does?
I don't know. It looked like it.
Ah! You're telling me this thing followed me the whole time? Oh shit. Like whipped on that thing.
Here we are, G. It's right here. Freedom.
I'm holding my breath. Run!
Pull it.
Pull the lever.
Wrong lever.
Does it open? Another stairs. Into another stairs. Into another stairs.
You're in my head.
Oh, then there's a guy with a spear. Oh, what? That thing again? Wait, is it the same one?
10K jump. Oh god.
Oh
Why is
my-
that the dodge button?
What? Okay. Do we have to fight this? Ow, 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 ow.
Come on, bring her over here.
Over
Free
where?
bitch.
Fuck you. Eat this.
I can't shoot the belly. I can't shoot her belly.
Fuck you. And you. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Come on, bitch.
Oh. Oh no, that's not good.
I'm down. Help. Help. Help.
Wait, where are you? Oh. Could not see you. Fuck you, bitch. Oh.
Oh.
That's not good. It's not good.
She's blocking me. I can't get her weak spot.
Did they die? They died. Thank you.
Now,
Ooh,
Oh.
soul gem.
there you go. I think that's our 10K gem.
Yippee! Money. There's all my
I
grenade
don't remember.
launcher. Here's into the
Unless, hold on.
stairs.
Hold on. Let me look around here real quick. Any shiny shootables somewhere that I may have missed? No.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Hurry up!
I assumed.
Hurry up!
I assumed it was gonna be one of those.
No, you were wrong.
Preparations are almost complete. Then we can leave.
Good.
You know, I was surprised Las Plagas was such a success. When you first arrived, I had my doubts. And now Ouroboros is complete.
Your position at Tricell is secured.
Oh, I have my eyes set on something much bigger. You'll be needing a partner, right? Someone suitable to join you in your new world? I believe I've proven I'm worthy, haven't I?
Perhaps you have.
God damn.
It appears your old friend,
It's
Chris
Jill.
Redfield, has come to pay you a visit. Do I sense concern?
The plan is in its final
It has to be
stages. I will
Jill.
not tolerate delays.
There's a
What's up?
New superior recreating a new world genital virus. You used to become a god.
That right is now mine.
Now mine.
I believe I should thank you, Spencer.
Ouroboros. Ouroboros. Holy shit, my accuracy. Ooh, ew. Garbo. Absolute
Brother,
booty
ew.
cheeks. Brother, ew.
Brother,
Ew. Brother, ew.
I think it might be calling it here soon. It is midnight my time.
That is perfectly fine. 3 hours is good. That was a good run.
It was progress made.
Yeah.
No, I sell my treasures. 31K.
I'm gonna put this.
Give that to you.
Flash rounds. Is that for the grenade launcher?
It is for the grenade launcher, sir.
Oh, okay. I'll keep that in there. Yes. For the next time.
I would like a full mag of my revolver. We're just gonna upgrade that.
Oh, you're right.
I'd upgrade your pistol. Yeah. I don't think you can upgrade the grenade launcher capacity though, sadly.
Nope. Sadly, I cannot.
Put some firepower upgrades into my fucking shotgun.
Wait, I can sell stuff. My treasures. Holy shit.
Shoot.
Holy shit, that's a lot of money. Okay.
Get money!
As for that, I'm gonna save upgrading my capacity for like when I'm out of ammo. That's the
doing the dead space trick, huh?
that's smarter. I'm gonna try to upgrade all the others. Oh, how much is it? 3K? Wait, piercing? Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Yep. Oh, max fan.
So my revolver now does 2100 damage.
What?
My revolver does 2100 damage.
Oh, you have a big boy.
Yep. I mean, you've got a big boy in your pocket too. What do you mean? No. My starting pistol now does 250 a shot
Yes,
with a
sir.
1% crit.
What is mine? I think mine's actually.
Or with, I don't know what the critical percent is. I looked at the L as a 1. I'm kind of dumb.
I have 3 on the crit.
My shotgun does 500.
Big dommage. Hell yeah.
I could sell my Ithaca. My other shotgun. What's new to buy? What's new? The grenade launcher is available to buy.
Yep.
With all its rounds.
How much does it cost? 10K. Holy cannoli.
If this is, I'd say just, queue us up and then we'll quit out and yeah.
Is that the only way we can quit?
Yeah. I think so.
Oh,
Actually, hold on.
saving.
Actually, wait, maybe. Depending on what this next part is. If this next part's what I think it is, I'll do this and then stop. But if it's... Nope, I know what this is. Nope. I'm quitting here. I'm not dealing with this. Bye.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, and that's the end
It's
of
just no.
day 2. Said nope, no thanks. We'll come back later.
It's a long section,
like
and I don't want to deal with it.
Alright, cool, good round.
It's all bad here, man. It's all bad.
Very nice.
Very nice.
We'll come back to it. Yes, sir. For the games,